prophecy out of context, right?
Typologically, yeah.
Beautiful. Now, the prophecy you make fun of in Isaiah 29, where the book is given to one who cannot read, saying, read this, he will say, I cannot read. The context doesn't allow for the Prophet Muhammad. But can the Prophet Muhammad fulfill that typologically? Does he fulfill that typologically?
If you're going to use Islam typology,
all right, guys, I didn't know
you're
that
going to use
this
Islam
debate was
typology,
happening.
sure, but that's assuming Islam and then reading it into the Bible. That's circular.
So the Prophet Muhammad fulfills Isaiah 29 typologically, and I'm justified in thinking that as a Muslim, right?
Within Islamic theology, sure.
Thank you very much. So he concedes that the Prophet Muhammad fulfills typology. Nice. All right.
If you're going to assume Islam and then use that to read the Bible, sure, but that's circular. If you want to do that, if you want to admit it's circular, go for it.
Where is the prophecy that Jesus will be called the Nazarene?
Libiano couldn't be stupider if he tried.
It's a typological fulfillment, I believe, in Isaiah 11.
It is.
Isaiah 11,
come and watch with me, guys. Come and watch with me.
Netzar and Nazarene, are they the same thing?
I didn't even know this was happening right now. I forgot. I mean, Libiano couldn't be less important.
They're two different words, sure.
They're two different words. Okay, and he only fulfills that because it's a play on words, right? And it sounds the same.
Yeah, it's play on words. Matthew liked to do that. Okay. Jews at the time liked to do that, yeah.
All right, so let's go to the same prophecy you always make fun of. Songs of Solomon, it says Muhammadim or Mahmadim. Does that sound similar to Muhammad?
It sounds, yeah, phonetically, sure, whatever.
Okay, so then that's a typological fulfillment as well, right?
If you're going to assume Islamic theology and then read that into the Old Testament, then yeah, but that's circular. Awesome. That's what that is by definition, dude.
Notice how Matthew's being circular. Right?
Notice how Libiano likes to just sit there and claim concession.
Matthew's circular,
and doesn't like to listen to clear qualification. Because he's so stupid.
Sure, yeah.
Under classical logic, are there three gods?
Depends on how you formulate it. That has nothing to do with the topic.
Yeah, it does. You said the kingdom of God is monotheistic, so Daniel's kingdom is supposed to be monotheistic. Under classical logic, if we counted the same way we count everything else, are there three gods?
Depends on how you're defining identity. It depends. And this, again, has nothing to do with Muhammad.
I said under absolute identity, are there three gods?
Define absolute identity. Give me a rigorous definition, because that's not a... What? Go ahead.
Under classical identity, are there three gods? Leibniz's
Again,
law.
you need to define. Give me a rigor.
Leibniz's law. Under Leibniz's law, are there three gods?
Leibniz's law does not apply.
It's irrelevant to the topic. This is not Tawhid
to the Trinity.
Are you going to actually keep on topic?
No, under Leibniz, I'm going to ask again. Under Leibniz's law,
you can ask me again, but it doesn't have anything to do with the topic.
So you're not going to answer.
Libiano's not even smart enough to know that Leibniz's law.
All right.
And philosophers have always said that it doesn't apply to the Trinity as Trinitarians know what it to be.
It is on topic because the kingdom of God is supposed to be monotheistic.
He's really stupid. This guy's really stupid.
Did you admit in a clip that if we counted using the CCM under classical logic and the primitive notion of identity, classical identity, would there be three little g gods? You admitted that, right?
No, because that's taking things out of context. What? That was according to how he was defining identity. Can you debate the topic and not try to bring up past things?
So under that, there's three gods. I don't know what
this moderator is doing.
Under that regimentation of identity, there's three gods, right?
Depends on how you define it. I don't even remember the conversation.
It depends, guys. So there's a sense. So there's a sense in which there's three gods. Thank you so much, Michael Jones.
You can define identity in such a way that it just doesn't make sense. And then when you define identity, let me answer my question.
The kingdom of God is three gods.
He doesn't want to answer.
This moderator, I don't know what the hell this moderator is doing.
All right.
Let me pause time. It's extremely difficult to hear the responses to these questions when I understand, you got your energy going.
And why is he letting Orthodox fat ass monologue nonstop?
All right.
After you talked all this crap.
The next question is, according to our 7th century Syriac texts, who subjugated and defeated Rome?
7th century Syriac texts? I don't know.
Yes,
I've not read them.
The Khuzestan Chronicle, it's a Christian chronicle, Syriac Christian chronicle, and the letters of Ushayab III, which I showed on my presentation. According to what I read, who destroyed and subjugated Rome?
Well, they incorrectly would say the caliphate. Then they would incorrectly say that.
All right,
Rome still existed after that.
All right, Muslims destroyed Rome. Beautiful. According to modern scholars,
notice he said incorrectly.
Who destroyed Rome?
Depends on who you're talking to.
So Lesbiano is doing everything under the guise that the way Muslims look at it is the right way.
1453.
Yeah. Edward J. Watt says it was destroyed in 1204 in his recent book from last year, The Romans.
Edward who?
Edward J. Watts, his book, The Romans. It's up-to-date scholarship.
On what grounds?
Oh, now now he cares about what grounds.
1204, for example, is when the Latin Crusaders came in and they destroyed Constantinople, sacked it, set up the Latin Empire.
Don't forget to hit the like button, guys.
Rome split into distinct factions. You had the Despoty
and make sure you subscribe to the Gospel Truth.
Empire of Nicaea.
Make sure you subscribe to the Gospel Truth, guys.
And even at the time, Constantine Lascaris said that this was basically the end of the Roman Empire. So it split into these distinct factions.
Oh, beautiful. According to Daniel himself, splitting into fractions, does it make you a different kingdom?
No, not necessarily, no.
Oh, beautiful. So Rome wasn't finished. Thank you very much. So under Daniel's view, who destroyed Rome?
Well, then no one has yet, because when the Western Empire split it, they split in all these different kingdoms and they just existed.
Mike, does Rome
according to Daniel, then yeah, they still exist.
Mike,
based on what you just said,
what
as
did I
these
say,
distinct
Mike?
kingdoms that came. Are you gonna let me answer?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Based on that, if splitting into different smaller kingdoms means it's still Rome, then by that logic, the kingdoms that came out of the Western Roman Empire are still Rome. So, okay, sure.
Yeah.
They're still Rome,
So
according to Daniel then.
Yeah, splitting into smaller kingdoms was still attributed to the kingdom before that they are collectively a part of, according to Daniel. So, for example, how does Daniel consider that Babylon was destroyed?
I believe.
How was Babylon destroyed?
God bless, brother. Did you see a video Orthodox Muslim saying if you get on a rocket ship, you'll be able to see Allah? Maybe we can find one rocket ship. Yeah, I did see it. He's an idiot. Thank you for the super chat, brother.
Oh, conquer the whole land means you destroy.
Notice this is
the Muslims conquer the whole land of Rome.
Notice how he hears part of an answer. Thank you very much. Thank you for the concession.
The Muslims didn't conquer the
I cannot stand this dude.
And that where Rome had no more land.
Oh, they didn't conquer
you know what it is?
Parts, no.
Shady, you're sick of their arrogance.
You just
That's what it is. You're sick of their arrogance, and quite honestly, a lot of people are.
1453, right? Did they have any more land?
Well, yeah, actually they did. Because when the Ottomans came in, they didn't claim to end the Roman Empire. They claimed to just inherit the Roman Empire. And George of Trebizond said that Mehmed II was the real Roman Empire.
That has nothing to do with that has nothing to do with. Are you saying that the Ottomans were Rome?
They claim to be, yeah.
The Ottoman Empire is the Roman Empire?
You can laugh at it or make fun of it all you want. That's what they claim. They called themselves Kaisers e Rum. They called themselves Kaisers e Rum.
Roman Empire, ladies and gentlemen, man.
Let me read a quote here. Okay, so this is from Crick Wickham of
No, you're not here
Europe.
to read quotes. You're here to answer questions.
All right, I'm just saying the Ottomans did not claim to end the Roman Empire. They claimed to become it. That's important.
They became Rome, right? Okay, Ottomans are Rome.
That's what they claimed.
That's fine. Let's read this for you.
It's different than the Persians and the Medes and the Macedonians.
No worries, man. No worries. Here,
okay?
Let's read this for you. Here we go.
Right.
So Edward Gibbons, let's see what he says. He says, from an humble origin, the Ottomans arose, the scourge and the terror of Christendom. Constantinople was besieged and taken by Muhammad II. And its triumph annihilates the remnant, the image, the title of the Roman Empire in the East. What is Edwin Gibbons here? Is he saying that Rome was destroyed by the Muslims?
He's an extremely outdated historian, possibly, but he's inaccurate. Yeah, very. Okay,
outdated. So according to this scholarship, Islam fulfills Daniel, right?
Well, no, because he said that Rome really fell in 476, and that was the Byzantine Empire.
Yeah, he says the remnant of Rome in the East. And according to Daniel, a remnant of an empire is the same empire. So answer the question. According to this scholarship, does Islam fulfill Daniel?
No, because the remnants were still in the West and they had broken up, which you acknowledge were still the Roman Empire, according to Daniel. So no.
So what constitutes a remnant? Because you seem to be equivocating.
Well, you said it's when kingdoms split. So you said when Daniel talks about them dividing.
That's not what I said. That's not what I said. So in Daniel 8, Alexander's kingdom splits into 4, but it's the same beast, it's the same animal, it's the same kingdom. They are just 4 kings from the same kingdom, right?
Yeah, I'm willing to grant that, sure.
All right. Under what metric is that the case?
Well, they claim to continue his work. They were still technically of the same ethnicity. Of that Macedonian lineage. So you can make that argument there.
Sorry, having the same ethnicity means that, okay, cool. So under the Medo-Persians, the Babylonians have the same ethnicity?
Under the Babylon, I mean, sure, but they weren't ruling at that point.
Oh, okay. So then the metric has nothing to do with ethnicity. What is the metric?
God bless you, Isha. Thank you. Thank you.
No,
yeah, he is a liar.
Because again, it's about who's ruling.
For the four split kingdoms, for the four split kingdoms being part of the whole kingdom, what is the metric?
I told you. So the rulers come in, they're Macedonian, and they set up their distinct empires and are still ruling as Macedonians.
Okay, cool. So how is that the case with the Roman Empire?
No, definitely not.
Oh, okay. So the Roman Empire was destroyed.
Well, no, because by the time the Byzantines were there, they were a different
Roman
people.
Empire,
they were a different ethnicity. They were a different language.
Mike, is the Roman Empire gone today, or is it still here?
Depends on who you ask. Russia
Fatty's collapsing.
I'm asking you, Mike.
Yeah, I said it ended in 1204. So I think is the best way to set that date out.
Oh, okay, beautiful. So actually that fulfills Daniel, because Daniel doesn't require Rome to be fully complete. It just requires that Islam is the next superpower. As you see in the statue, when the statue is destroyed, it turns into Shah.
The next superpower.
Right?
What?
It says that it was like Shah. And
the Ottoman Empire got humiliated in 1921 in Vienna.
Does Islam
didn't destroy it?
Let me finish. Does Islam come after the Roman Empire and weaken the Roman Empire and take more land than the Roman Empire did in 800 in 70 years than the Roman Empire did in 800?
No.
They don't?
Because it didn't take it all, and actually the Holy Roman Empire was the reformulation of the Western.
I didn't say that. Were they
look,
the next
he cannot
power
stand
block super empire?
Sure, but that doesn't fulfill Daniel then.
Oh, okay, beautiful.
That's time right there. That's time.
All right.
Time right there.
Sure as hell didn't seem like a crucifixion to me, fat boy.
All right, Mike, you have 15 minutes to
Man,
cross-examine.
what a crucifixion.
Time as soon as you ask your first question.
What a crucifixion.
All right, excellent. Okay, so when did the Roman Empire end?
According to scholarship, what I'm seeing, it fully ended in 1450.
What is the metric they use to say that's the end of the Roman Empire?
I'm not a historian.
Oh,
so you don't know. So the only metric
I can't tell you what metric. I could tell you what I observed, right? But I'm not a historian, so I can't tell you what metric. I would assume it would be the end of their governance. It would be the end of their rule. It would be the end of their image. It would be the end of their systems or governmental systems, and the end of their authority.
Didn't the Ottomans just adopt all of the key administrative structures of the Roman Empire?
Let me finish my answer. Thank you very much.
Let's allow him to complete his answer.
Yeah.
Okay.
But according to Daniel, because we're dealing with Daniel, the conquering of Rome is that of the conquering.
I want you guys to notice how when this guy's qualifying an answer, Mike doesn't interrupt him. Contrast that to when Fat Boy was doing his cross-exam.
Between what happened to Babylon and what happened to Rome.
Did Muslims conquer the traditional land of Rome then?
Nope.
Depends on what that means. What does that mean?
Italy.
Traditional land.
Right. Did they conquer Italy, stupid?
Who says that's the traditional land of Rome?
That's where Rome is.
That's where they got started.
Jackass.
That's where Rome is.
Yeah, so where they got started means that this is what it means to be Rome?
What?
I'm asking. You said they had to conquer the land. So did the Muslims conquer
if
all the
you
land
conquer
of Rome?
it, that means you take over the land, which would include Rome.
Okay, thank you. So
Stupid.
Let me finish. I'm answering.
I'm moving on. We're done.
You guys wonder why I can't stand this dude.
I'm going to answer. Thank you very much.
Hurry up.
All right. So the Muslims conquered what was left of Rome, the Constantinople, and that area of Eastern Europe. They conquered it all, and Rome was no more, according to what scholarship says. Yeah.
Did the Ottomans claim to end the Roman Empire?
Yes, they did.
No. Okay. Well, that is false. But we can move on.
Yeah.
What was one of the titles the Ottoman sultans had for themselves? Are you aware that it was Kaiser Rum, Caesar of Rome?
Yep.
When the Roman Empire broke up, and the Ottomans conquered that, does that mean they conquered the Roman Empire, according to you?
Broke up what? What are you referring to?
In 1204.
I'm not aware. I'm not aware what you're referring to.
Yeah, I know you don't know the history. What about the Western Roman Empire? Did that reformulate into the Holy Roman Empire?
The Holy Roman Empire?
Yeah, did that not reformulate into the Holy Roman Empire?
In what year?
Under Charlemagne, so in the early 800s.
In the early no, that wouldn't be Rome that Daniel describes.
That wouldn't be Rome. So if it breaks up into distinct pieces, it's no longer Rome then.
Yeah, because it has nothing to do with the Fourth Roman Empire.
Excellent. So when it breaks up, it's
this
no
guy's
longer
too
good.
stupid
Glad
to know when he's cooked.
That's not what I said. Mike
Getting
Jones,
belt.
that's not what I said. You said when it
Don't
broke
throw
up
balls in here.
and reformed in the 1800s, right?
No.
Anything,
Let me clarify. That's when the Holy Roman Empire ended.
You just said
You know what he said? I wouldn't even say he looks evil. I would never give him that much credit.
Under Charlemagne.
Assigning him like a bully or evil. I think that he's just I think that he's a clown. I think that he's like a little, not even a hyena, like a weasel, a really fat weasel. Deception. You know what I mean?
There was no more Western Rome. It was all taken over by the barbarian tribe.
So when they destroyed that, that means that's the end of the Western Roman Empire because they broke up into smaller kingdoms.
Sorry, say that one more time.
Yeah.
When that happened, that means that was the end of the Western Roman Empire.
Bye, Shed. Thank you so much for coming by. Appreciate it. Guys, don't forget to like button. Make sure you share the stream. Hit the like button.
Okay, so when the East breaks up into smaller kingdoms, that's also the end of the Roman Empire in 1204, correct?
Sorry, when you say broken into smaller kingdoms, according to what?
Don't forget
According
to submit.
history.
Subscribe to the Gospel
No,
Truth,
and
guys.
broken
This is the
down
one
into
who's
smaller
hosting the.
Remember,
Different emperors.
when
Different emperors ruling over different areas.
The Byzantine Empire was finished in 1453. Nobody disagrees. Nobody disagrees. Everybody knows that the Eastern Empire was finished in okay, what happened in 1453, Mike Jones?
Ottomans claim to it. So I'm asking questions here. So I want to continue on this. That's why the Western Roman Empire. Hold on, I'm asking questions. When the Western Roman Empire split into smaller kingdoms, you said that's the end of the Western Roman Empire.
What's the smaller kingdom?
So why would not that be? Let me finish my question. Yeah. When the Eastern Roman Empire broke up
Zara,
into smaller kingdoms in 1204, why is that not the end of the Eastern Roman Empire?
What? Breaking up into smaller kingdoms means that the kingdom is finished?
That's what you said about the Western one.
That's not. That's literally the opposite of what I said.
No, it's not.
According to Daniel, breaking up into smaller power blocks does not mean that now the whole beast is destroyed. That's just not what Daniel says. And I can refer to Daniel chapter 8.
So then you would agree that the Western Roman Empire continued as those other kingdoms and was never destroyed by Islam.
No, the Western Empire. One sec. Can you pause the time? My camera died, man.
Notice Mike's time is still going. Oh, okay. Well, while they fix that up, guys, I'm going to take a bathroom break.
He's getting his camera back together. I guess I'll go over some announcements here. We are going to be having the Gospel Truth Conference is coming up soon, guys. Only in a couple of days. This conference is, I think, going to be the best theological debate conference ever. That's my opinion. Obviously, I'm biased. But I think it's going to be fantastic. I got some of the most heavy hitters, some of the heavy hitters coming. So it looks like Orthodox is back. So we'll get back into it.
Can you hear me?
Let know when you're ready.
All right.
Yep, I can hear you.
All right. Sorry. Carry on.
Okay. So again, if the Western Roman Empire broke up, according to Daniel, that would still be the continuation of that empire. Why would? Okay. So then for the East, are you saying that's the same thing?
Again, you're equivocating. The breaking up of smaller kingdoms is still a part of the bigger kingdom where the bigger kingdom is now divided and being ruled by multiple different kings under different jurisdictions.
Beautiful.
That's not the same
Excellent.
as the Western. Can you stop with the ad-libs? That's not the same as Western Empire being taken over by the Visigoths and being destroyed, and then the Holy Roman Empire now comes around. This is not the same at all.
So when outside people come in and take over the entity, that means that empire is ended.
That's just not what I said. You're not tracking. So I'm going to repeat it.
That's exactly what he said. This
my
guy
metric and my standard is exactly
I can't wait till people clip this up.
Daniel says. Daniel had Babylon. Babylon.
You could tell he's reading. He's reading from ChatGPT.
Succeeded by Macedonian Greece. Macedonian Greece was succeeded by Rome. Okay. Now, if we go to Daniel 8, Macedonian Greece splits up into 4 power blocks, but Daniel still considered it to be the same exact beast, just split up. So The same metric that I'm using for Daniel is the same metric I'm using for Islam and the Roman Empire.
Great. So when the Roman Empire split up in the West, it continued on then by that metric, according to Daniel.
No, it didn't continue on because the whole Western Empire was demolished. And what continued, the kingdom wasn't finished. What continued is the eastern part, Byzantium, which continued for 1,000 more years. There was no more Western Rome.
Yeah, but you said that when it broke up, it's a continuation of the kingdom, like with Macedonia. So why isn't when the Western kingdom breaks up, it is just a continuation, and then it just reformulates as the Holy Roman Empire?
Because it didn't just break up; it just was destroyed. It was finished. There was no more Western Rome.
According to who?
What came later has nothing to do with the Roman Empire.
Okay, so if an empire breaks up into smaller kingdoms and then reformulates later, it's no longer the Roman Empire.
That's again, Mike. You're not getting it, and you're equivocating on purpose because you're getting slapped. With all due respect. So I'm gonna repeat it one more time. Yeah. If you say so. So I'm gonna repeat it one more time. The split in the West and the East happened at the end of the 3rd century. Then at the end of the 4th century. Or sorry, at the end.
Yeah.
Of
you're really doing a lot of slapping around.
The 5th century, Western Rome is no more because it was consumed by the Germanic tribes. But what continued on is Byzantium. There was no more Western Rome. That beast was just Rome, and that Rome was identified as Byzantium and was continued to be known as Rome. And I brought you the sources, like the Syriac sources say. They make no distinguishment between West or East. They call Byzantium Rome, the same Roman Empire that subjugated them for 500 years until the Muslims came with victory and kicked them out.
Question. If they're calling themselves Rome, that makes them Rome in the East?
That's not what I said. I didn't say just because
I'm asking a question.
Rome,
can you answer the question?
Nope, it's not, but it's a part of it. Why? Because they were identified as the same Roman Empire, not a distinct entity.
Okay, so then is that the case for what happened after the those rump states of 1204? Were they still the same Roman Empire? I'm
not sure what you're referring to. Rump states?
When 1204, when the Latin Crusaders took over Constantinople, and they broke up into the Latin Empire, the Despotate of Epirus, the Empire of Trebizond, and the Empire of Nicaea. Okay, which one of those is the Roman Empire at that point?
No, it would still be considered Rome, just like in Daniel 8.
Which one?
What do you mean, which one?
Roman Empire.
Mike Jones, Daniel 8 considers the
question.
4 kingdoms that split from Rome to be the same beast. So if a kingdom dissolves or is governed by different jurisdictions or splits up into smaller parts, it doesn't make it a different kingdom according to Daniel himself. So according to Daniel.
So according to Daniel, when the Western Roman Empire split up, it would be the continuation of the Roman Empire, just like
the Western Empire didn't. Right. Thank you very much. The Western Empire didn't just split up. It was consumed. There was no more Western Empire. There was just Rome, and that Rome was just Byzantium.
So then if it's consumed by outside people coming in, it's no longer Rome.
Did I say that?
That's what I'm asking, because that's what you imply.
Yeah, so if it was consumed, there was no more recognizable Roman entity.
Loading, man?
It was invaded by Germanic tribes. Had nothing
Good night, brother.
To do
thank you
with
so much
the
for coming
Roman,
by. I appreciate you, man.
Identity, the Roman
and thank you
image,
again for the super
Roman
chats. Really appreciate you, brother.
Nothing.
God bless.
They were a distinct people with a
much.
distinct governance, with a distinct identity. A distinct entity came and consumed the western part of Rome. Rome continued to be just Byzantium.
So then by that logic, when the Latin Crusaders came in and conquered Constantinople in 1204, that was the end of the Roman Empire because they were a distinct people.
Nope, because when that happened, according to you, they split into smaller sections. When that happened, according to you, they split into smaller sections of the same Eastern Byzantine Empire.
And that didn't happen in the West at all. There were no entities still calling themselves the descendants of the Roman Empire. It didn't happen in like Spain, for example, or any of that.
When the Visigoths took over?
Yeah, they claim to still be a part of Rome, for example. Like that. That's not the same thing.
Show the source where the Visigoths claim to.
I don't have it on me, but that's just basic history.
No,
you just
said you just said the Visigoths and Germanic tribes claim to be Rome. Where is that?
They claim to be ruling over Rome.
No, you just lied. You said they
claim
to be. Nope. You said they claim to be Rome. Where is that?
Okay, so I'm asking questions here, not you. Can we get back to this? So again, 1204. Where is the Roman Empire after that? Will you answer the questions across examining? Stop running, Libby.
What is this moderator doing, man?
Questions.
The only one is running
Answer the question.
All I'm getting is voice cracks and no substance.
Guys, moderator talking. Now I'm gonna stop the time here. I'm gonna pause it. Let's settle down a little bit. Mike, I'm gonna let you go ahead and rehash that question one more time, and Liviano, answer it the best you can.
Okay, so again, where is the Roman Empire in 1205?
Okay, guys, so clearly Mike Jones got caught lying. So I'm going to repeat my answer again. The Eastern Rome, even if it's split into smaller jurisdictions,
because he's homosexual,
doesn't mean that the Eastern Roman identity was destroyed.
Homosexual,
and according
liar,
to scholarship,
so
mainstream historians, they say that Rome was ended in the 1400s.
Liviano getting smoked.
Okay.
Why
Very simple.
Why do they say that?
You're quoting.
Why do they say that? Is this cross-examination?
Why exactly?
No, I want an answer to that.
Karen, be quiet. I'm answering.
Why do they say that?
Karen,
come on, Ben. Stop running from the question. Stop running.
Karen is on her period and she doesn't want to let me talk.
Guys, let's chill out on the name calling and let's allow proper conversation, guys. All right, so once again, go ahead and ask that question again, Mike. I guess the follow-up question, and Liviano, go ahead and answer the best you can.
Once again, why do historians say 1453?
I was answering, and Karen cut me off because she's on her menses. So I'd like to continue.
Man, they get desperate, man.
Yeah, I'd like. Whatever. Yeah. Why are you acting like the nice guy and you're ripping up Qurans? Please, don't give the nice guy.
Shut the
hell up. Tell me one Quran I ripped up.
Be upon him and Quran.
Guys, let's get back on track, guys. Let's get back on track. Mike, ask the question again. Liviano, answer the question the best you can.
All right. Once again, let's stay on topic. Stop trying to wear the time down. Why do historians say the Roman Empire ended in 1453? What metric are they using?
I already answered this question. So as Edward Gibbon says here, here's the quote. I could read it for you. He says, from an humble origin, the Ottomans arose, the scourge and the terror of Christendom. Constantinople was besieged and taken by Muhammad II, and his triumph annihilates the remnant,
look,
the image,
can't even read,
the title of the Roman Empire.
This is the best you guys got, Muslims. Somebody who can't read.
Okay, so if that's true,
the title.
I gotta ask a question, man. We're running out of time. Stop trying to wear the clock down.
This is what Douglas does.
If that's true, why did the title of Caesars of Rome continue under the Ottomans?
Okay, beautiful. So what Mike is saying, because Muhammad II, he says that he's the Caesar, right? That means that he thinks that he is a part of the Roman Empire?
Well, he claimed, he claimed to inherit it.
Okay, beautiful. So if I say I'm the Pharaoh of today, that means I'm part of the Egyptian Empire?
No, Liviano's getting cooked, brother.
No, because Liviano's
getting wrecked.
He actually had a claim to it.
Okay.
All right, that's beautiful, guys.
Yeah.
So he says,
all right, guys.
Mike.
That's
has no idea how debate works.
I mean, if you guys want to carry this one on, we do have 30 more minutes of open discussion, open dialogue now. So let me get the timer set here real quick.
Now watch this. Watch Orthodox immediately jump into insulting because he's so pathetic and stupid and fat.
Sure, I have a lot of things I didn't.
I want him to keep answering. He's not answering my questions. I need to know how he knows the Roman Empire in 1453.
We have 30 minutes. He hasn't answered. But remember, you said I didn't answer you when I had no time. You see how deceptive you are? You said, he didn't talk about this and he didn't talk about that. So anyways, you said that in Matthew, let me address what you said.
Orthodox Banana. Guys, don't forget to smash the like button. Smash the like button.
That God sent his armies. Unless you want to say that the Roman army is God's army. Interesting. Does God say that Assyria is the rod of his anger?
Yeah, he uses different armies, yeah.
Is it the rod of his anger?
Smash that like button, guys.
Yeah, he uses different armies to allow them to come
so
and do
Assyria
stuff.
is God's arm. So Assyria is God's arm.
That's not what that says. No, it's a
What?
rod of his
It
anger.
says
He's allowing them to go
it
and do
says
stuff.
he's the
What an
rod.
idiot.
Okay, so it's the rod of his anger, right?
Yeah, he's allowing that
All
to
right.
happen.
So the rod belongs to God, right?
Yeah, but his army is the angelic army.
Oh, beautiful. All right, beautiful. So then the Assyrian
making
army,
sense.
that is the rod, belongs to God, right?
He allows all sorts of armies to do things, and then he
okay.
he says that he allows you to come in and do that. So what? That's not that does not show that's his army.
Thank you so much, Mike. So when it says that God sent the king sent his armies, it doesn't have any insinuation of the army being people of God or polytheists or not. God is using them for punishment, and in that sense, it is predicated onto God. Why? Because Paul also says that kingship and everything in the world belongs to God. Everything is God's.
You're making
Therefore,
the
the
point for me.
Romans
You
are
don't. We
God's
don't take
army.
the. You're making the point for me. We don't take these hyper literal readings. Thank
Right.
you. That's what I wanted you to say. You're right. Matthew 21 and 22 parables are not hyper literal. They're
Beautiful.
approximations of the kingdom.
I never said they were hyper literal,
Look at
whatever
Mike's
that
face.
means.
Look at Mike's
Okay,
face.
but again, according to
Oh,
these,
man.
yeah,
I missed it.
That's just a
I gotta
misunderstanding. I never
screenshot
said that you are to
Yeah,
hyper
Mike, come
literal.
on,
I
make
don't
the
think
face.
that every little detail maps out into reality, but we have no reason to reject the timeline that Jesus gives. What reason?
Oh,
do
now you
have
care
to
what Jesus
reject
says?
the timeline that's attested in both parables?
Now he
I
cares
told
what
you
Jesus
because
says.
the
What an
prior
idiot.
time before that, before the son and heir is killed, which I'm curious if you're going to try to argue that's John the Baptist. We'd only have to
please.
conclude prophets were sent twice.
Please.
Okay, and that does not map the Christian or the Islamic timeline. These are approximations, not
How does
accurate,
that-
not completely mapping
how
on the
does that
reality.
Can
follow?
somebody tell
How
Leviano
does
to
that-
brush his teeth?
So wait,
That's disgusting.
So 1 second. So because it only mentions 2 sending of prophets, that means there was only 2 prophets?
No, there'll be 2 groups of them, according to you, if you want to take that hyperliteral reading of the timeline.
Oh, beautiful. But I'm not reading it that way. I'm asking you in
Right.
terms of the events that happen. There's God assigns Israel. God sends Israel prophets. God punishes Israel. After God punishes Israel, guess what? God sends in the prophets to the Gentiles. Now you ask, well, why do we reject that this is not only 2 groups? Why? Because we have just.
Where does Matthew 21 say prophets are going to be sent to the Gentiles after? It doesn't say that.
Let me finish.
That's odd.
Let me finish. Because
All
both parables are saying the same thing, right?
No, not according to you now. Now you just debunked yourself because it doesn't say there were prophets sent
I
after.
didn't ask that. In Matthew 21 and Matthew 22, okay, in Matthew 22, does God send his servants to the alleyways to invite anybody he could find?
Immediately after the city is destroyed, yeah.
Oh, beautiful. Are the servants the prophets?
Possibly. Or they could be angelic
Possibly.
messengers. There's different scholars that agree.
Okay, beautiful. So then God does send whoever the servants are, which according to majority interpretations of prophets, how we know that? Because they are killed and rejected. So prophets.
So every
and
servant is a
people-
prophet?
Let me finish. I'm finishing. Thank
Every
you.
servant?
Let me finish.
Huge shout out to the Gospel Truth guys. Subscribe to them on YouTube. The Gospel Truth on YouTube. Thank you for whoever is smashing that like button.
Thank you.
Is it? Yeah,
So
it is live,
as
Michael.
we know,
It's live
God
right now.
sends holy people and prophets to his people, and they reject and kill them. Anyway, that supports my point. So
Liviano
after
is
that,
winning.
God sends
You must
them
not know history, brother.
after 70 AD. Is
You
that
must
correct?
not know history, Libianos.
He sends several people out after 70 AD. Sure, yeah.
Libiano's getting his ass
beautiful,
whooped
but you
is
said
what's
he
going on.
doesn't earlier, and you said, "Oh, where does it say that?"
No.
It doesn't say that?
The only way you can
No,
think
I'm
Libiano's
talking
winning
about a
is if
specific
you don't
prophet
know
who's
what the
supposed to come.
actual
That's not what
prophecy
these
in
are
the book
about.
of
This is
Daniel
why God's
actually
sending
said.
out
You
servants.
said it-
Okay, you've been
you
talking
said
a
that-
while. You got to let me talk now.
Mike,
Calm
you said the
down.
text doesn't say
Calm
that.
down.
You said
You're
the
going to get
text
to
doesn't say
talking a
that,
little
Mike.
bit. You
Yeah.
have to let me respond. Calm
Anyone
down.
saying Libiano's
Okay,
winning, you don't know what the hell you're talking
Anyway,
about.
It says
Talking a
servants
lot and
generally.
talking
Again,
over
these are
people doesn't mean you're winning.
approximations.
It just means
There
he's
is no
nervous, and
mention of
that's
some
par for
future
the course with
prophet
him.
After that is going to
He's
deliver
an idiot.
revelation. Why are you going these passages? They don't support your case. Or do you not believe in Surah 757 or Surah 61:6? These are not this.
Thank you so
Muhammad.
Thank you so much, Michael Jones, for conceding that it does say that, because earlier you said it doesn't say that. Now you said, oh, well, it says servants. Yeah, I agree. The Prophet Muhammad and the companions
Generally.
who fit the
Jesus is
description
God,
of
amen.
servants were sent. And guess what? They were sent after 70 AD. So,
what I'm thinking is that your stupid ass doesn't know history and you don't know what the Bible says. That's what I'm thinking. If you think Libiano's winning, then you probably also think that he knows what he's talking about, and he's already gotten cooked on the prophecies. His dumbass earlier said, "What do you mean, Italy?" Yo, stupid. You do know that Rome is in Italy, right? And because we know that the Ottoman Empire never even remotely started to take over Italy, then it stands to reason that the Ottoman Empire never conquered, right? So I'm sorry, who do you think is winning when he didn't even know where Rome is? Are you stupid? Libiano doesn't even know where Rome is. He didn't even know the correlation between Italy and Rome. But you think Libiano's winning? How stupid can you be?
No,
I don't know what to tell you.
Hey guys, I didn't see immediate or right after. Where does it say that?
Oh my gosh, that's an exact word fallacy, bro.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, word and sword. But according to the Muslims in the chat, Libiano's winning.
Thank you very much.
When IP held his feet to the fire, he said straight up, "Well, what does Italy have to do with anything?" Stupid doesn't even know that Rome's in Italy.
Yeah.
How stupid? How stupid? How stupid? Yeah, this is my true character. I'll tell you to your face, and I'll tell Libiano to his fat face too.
No, this is not how this is going to work, sir. You brought up a topic. I want to go back to the Roman Empire. You still haven't answered me. How do you know it ended? No.
Okay, guys.
Yeah. So
all right, guys.
Mike is running, man.
Let's reel it in.
Yeah, I need to open the book.
Deal with everything else you said?
Italy wasn't Roman at this point. Oh, really? So where was Rome then?
Trying to listen to what you guys
the landmass of Italy.
Be courteous and let's allow people to respond.
Was Rome ever in a different place? No. Did Libiano know that Rome was in Italy? No. But I'm the one that needs to open the book? Yeah, sure, buddy.
No, you're not going to speak. You just brought up the topic. We discussed it.
No, I'm going to speak.
No, you're not. No,
Mike,
you're not.
We be cordial?
No, you're not.
Mike,
you are not.
Oh, now he wants to be cordial.
I am being cordial. We talked about Matthew 22.
Now he wants to be cordial. Now he wants to be cordial. Rome is the capital. Oh, no. But look, we still got Pendejita over here saying, "Oh, please read a book. Please read a book." Is the book going to tell me that Rome is in Italy, you idiot? Because Libiano clearly needs to read that book. Yeah, I think he thinks Rome is in Australia. He probably thinks the Ottoman Empire dominated Australia too.
And I'm not going to respond to it. That's not going to happen. I'm going to respond to everything he said.
For sure. I think that's only fair. But we have to allow everybody to ask the question and then respond to the question. Talking over it's hard to understand what you guys are saying. So let's try again. Go for it.
Once again, we just talked about Matthew 22. I still need an answer on how you know the Roman Empire ended in 1453.
We're
Stop
not
running
done.
from that.
Let me finish. You're the one running.
Okay, he's gonna run from that. He can't answer me.
Let me finish, IP. You spewed a bunch of
nonsense. Conceded Daniel now. Thank you. I'm glad you conceded Daniel.
Can you stop talking while I'm talking? Thank you very much.
You conceded Daniel. This is great.
Go
ahead.
Yes, he did.
We spoke about your gibberish nonsense. You said the Roman Empire is a Turkish empire. You should be ashamed of yourself because you're gonna be made a laughing stock. But remember, you said all of this and you uttered it, and I haven't responded to it yet. So let me respond to all the garbage that you spewed. All right. So you said that Jesus historically
doesn't want to talk about Daniel, guys.
No, he doesn't want to talk about Daniel.
I'm afraid of that.
Because he's a coward.
All we've been doing is speaking about Daniel, but we haven't spoken about anything else. So can you stop
never answered my
time?
question.
Did the Ottoman Empire take over Italy? What does Italy have to do with anything?
Me on the end of the Roman Empire.
What does Italy have to do with anything?
I want everyone to see that.
Rome's in Italy and is the capital of Italy.
Guys, I'm going to be forced to cut this open dialogue short.
No. Don't cut it short. Just make sure that Mike Jones understand. Can you please pause it because the time is running and he's gonna get away from this. Please pause the time.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Can you pause the time?
I can give you one thing. Libiano is really good at gaslighting himself. And with it, his naivete audience
against me. I didn't even get to respond to a third. Not even half of them. We've been speaking about Daniel the whole time. You've showed that you're an idiot, that you stick to fringe positions.
Wow, listen to that.
Logical, you never baked a damn thing.
Listen, I want to
You wish you could bake, brother.
Everything you said.
I have no respect for you. You get clowned on a regular basis. Even Muslims laugh at you.
You thought you were going to get away with it? All right. So
you're worse than Libiano the way that you gaslight yourself.
No. That's not.
Guys, go subscribe. Make sure you're subscribed to the Gospel Truth on YouTube, guys.
If you're going to run on that, just say you don't want to talk about Daniel. You need to do more research. Just say that.
Bob Logic think he baked somebody. You ain't man enough to bake me, boy.
About is Daniel, sir. We haven't spoken about Matthew. We have just right. We just started like 5 minutes. We just started talking about. We just started, and we have everything else. We have Psalm 74. We have Malachi. We have all the garbage arguments.
Guys, listen up.
Come on.
If we can't dialogue correctly, I'm either going to put time bands on the response.
I mean, not with
formal cross-ex.
With Libiano, he's not mature enough to have an actual dialogue
of the debate and be done with it. So
his pathetic rhetoric is what he wants to try and dominate with, and it's not working.
Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, I'm fine if we just do 1 minute back and forth. If he's not going to answer my question,
he's not.
I'm fine doing 1 minute times.
I think that's smart.
No. 1 minute is how he's going to run away with timing. Okay, so he's not going to get
more pathetic rhetoric.
He's going to
pathetic gaslighting rhetoric
that he spewed, right?
Go brush
and
your
then we
teeth,
can
dude.
get to Daniel. We've spoken about Daniel. You've asked the same question over and over and over again for 15 minutes. I answered.
Okay,
so I want to get back to answering everything.
Libiano, how many more questions do you have? How many questions?
No, brother, I don't. It's not questions. He made some points in his rebuttal that I never got to address, and I'd like to speak about them.
Okay. All right. I'm allowing you time to go.
We've been speaking about Daniel the whole time.
Hold on. I'm trying to address it. I'm going to allow you to answer. I'm going to allow you to address those current concerns.
Thank you for all the super chats, guys. Thank you so much.
And I'm going to allow you some time, but then I'm going to switch over to Mike, and Mike's going to have time to ask questions as well. Okay.
Sounds
so
good.
I want to keep
online. The moderation, he came out like he was going to be strong, but he's letting Fat Boy get away with way too much rhetoric.
Answer the best.
You know what I mean? And his mouth is dry because he knows Mike is whooping him.
Can we start now?
Yep, go for it.
It's on The Gospel Truth, Incognito. The Gospel Truth on YouTube. So go subscribe to him.
He was crucified according to the criterions that I used, and he died.
The Gospel Truth, J-Day. The Gospel Truth.
My position. How so?
Because if you're going to use like criterion of dissimilarity, typical historical criteria,
of course,
you need to accept other facts as well. And that, for example, means
Bob Logic. But you also think Muhammad is a prophet, and you think that you bake anybody, and you think that God Logic ran from you. So,
but not for an historical fact that all historians accept.
You know what, Bob Logic, explain to me why Libiano didn't even know that Rome was in Italy. You idiot,
Michael Jones.
Your position is that these parables.
Bro wants to talk about Daniel and the Roman Empire and didn't even know where Rome was at. How pathetic.
No, I understand, but what is my position on the historical authenticity of the crucifixion of Christ?
Well, I don't know. You've not actually said it, but I'm curious. So why don't you tell me?
So how do you know that it refutes my position if you don't know my position?
Well, then tell me your position instead of just not saying it.
Oh, beautiful. So you don't know.
All right. Beautiful.
So Jesus was. So you said Jesus was historically crucified and died. My position is that's exactly what the Quran says in terms of the historical context. There's two claims the Quran makes. It makes a historical natural claim.
Crimson, I thought it was near New York as well, but apparently not.
The historical claim is that according to the attestation, people would have said Jesus died. But supernaturally, he didn't actually die, but he was raised. That's why the Quran says it was made to appear so. Now, Michael Jones, if the Quran says God made it appear
that's ad hoc, but okay, that's just ad hoc.
If you asked for my position, you said this contradicts my position.
Ad hoc.
Yeah, let him, Mike, just let him finish. Just let him finish answering. Let him talk himself into the grave.
You said it contradicts, Mike. Don't
let him talk himself.
The Quran saying it seemed to appear so. Would we expect anybody to say that he wasn't crucified if the Quran said God made it appear so?
We would say that again. That doesn't make sense.
If the Quran, open up your ears. If the Quran says God made it appear so, do we expect any attestation to say otherwise?
To say that he wasn't? Yeah, absolutely. His disciples were to reported it.
Yeah. His disciples were there and it was made to appear so. Are you stupid?
So his disciples didn't know the truth. They weren't actually teaching Islam. They were teaching Christianity. Great. That's great.
Guys, hold on. Guys, hold on. Just chill on the ad hominems, man. Just chill, man.
All right.
He can't chill on the ad hominems because he's a big fat child.
Just chop it up. Just chop it
up. You know what I'm saying?
That's all you got to do.
All right. I got you.
He can't.
You. So Ibn Taymiyyah says that we have no problem saying that the earliest followers believe Jesus died. You said, you consider Christianity. No, because even according to Paul, the mere crucifixion doesn't establish Christianity. Christianity necessitates crucifixion. Crucifixion doesn't necessitate Christianity. So again, if God made it appear so, do we expect any attestation to say otherwise?
We would expect people that were preaching the beliefs of Islam, like the disciples, to say that he was taken to heaven.
Right.
That's not what I asked. I said according to Islam,
that is what you asked, stupid. How stupid?
So
Same beautiful does proceed gaslighting, Montana. Absolutely.
So, do we expect any historical attestation to say otherwise?
What?
And I've answered you. Yes,
An
the people
idiot.
that were supposedly preaching Islam, like the disciples, for example, because the Quran says the disciples were
Look, he doesn't like the
Muslims.
answer. Yep.
So therefore,
Yep.
they should be
Yep.
believing what Islam teaches, and they didn't say that.
Absolutely. Look at how stupid his face is. Oh, I'm sorry. Where you at, Bob Logic? Where you at, Bob Logic?
Did the disciples think Jesus was crucified?
Doesn't matter if they're a Muslim, right?
I don't know. You not said your position. I'm curious if you
now you're
contradict the Quran, but go ahead.
You just said if they were Muslim, that means they were preaching that he wasn't crucified. Is that what you just said?
That would be what? Yeah, that'd have to be the case because that's what the Quran says.
All right,
That's what Muslims supposed to believe.
It doesn't follow because the Quran never says the disciples knew that he wasn't crucified. Where does it say that in the Quran?
Oh, so they were preaching he was crucified.
They believed he was crucified, and that doesn't necessitate Christianity.
So Allah fooled Muslims?
Okay, you guys heard it here. Libiano thinks the disciples were preaching Jesus was crucified.
Right.
Okay.
That's
great.
exactly
Despite
what
the fact
Ibn Taymiyyah
that
said.
they want you to also believe that they're
Ibn Kathir
Muslim.
under the
What our
bus, who
scholarship
said the
says.
disciples knew this. The disciples.
Is this
so
is
Ibn
it,
Kathir
sorry,
under the
Libiano
bus.
getting
this is
cooked.
not, this is not responding.
getting
This
fed.
is my position. Does this contradict Islam?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it does because
right.
the disciples
All right,
are
how does
supposed
it
to be
contradict
Muslims.
Islam?
They're
I just
supposed to
told
be
you, you
Muslims
could
and
be-
believe what Islam
I just-
teaches.
All right, what nullifier of Islam did they break?
They believe Jesus died.
Is that a nullifier?
Yes, you
Yeah, because
idiots.
according to you, the Quran doesn't say that.
Right.
So they should be in a line with what Islam teaches. And you
Well,
just
God
Ibn
didn't
Kathir under the bus as well. Just remember
God didn't
that.
reveal that until the 7th century.
God never revealed that.
Again,
Oh, so
what
he
is the
made
nullifier
Christianity.
that they committed?
Right. So he made
No,
Christianity.
because
Okay.
crucifixion doesn't necessitate Christianity.
What?
Okay, well, you threw Ibn Kathir under the bus because he says the disciples knew what was going
That's not
on.
what I asked.
Yeah.
Does the crucifixion necessitate Christianity?
Oh.
It is definitely a necessary foundation for it.
I
And
didn't
the
a- I
opposite
didn't-
is a
I
necessary
didn't ask
foundation
that.
for Islam.
Didn't ask that. I didn't say in Christianity.
Look, he wants him to answer how he wants.
Crucifixion necessitate Christianity.
He wants him to answer how he wants.
No.
That's pathetic, man.
Oh,
You're pathetic,
so the
Libiano.
disciples could have believed in a crucifixion and not been preaching Christianity, right?
And then they wouldn't have been Muslims. Yeah, sure.
Oh, really? Show me that in the Quran.
Yeah, because according to Islamic theology, Jesus wasn't crucified.
Right.
And Ibn Kathir says they were in on this. They knew
Yes.
what was going to happen.
According to
So according to you, they
Islamic
can't actually be
theology-
Muslim because they're believing in something, a core doctrine of Christianity and not a core doctrine of Islam. Thank you for that.
Wait,
I'm glad you
according
threw
to
the disciples under the bus and wanted they were in line with Christianity.
One second.
Oh,
According to
duck lips.
Islamic
Duck lips,
doctrine,
duck
the
lips, man.
disciples had to believe Jesus was crucified, and they were. And they're
Brother
not
Maverick,
Muslim,
get up
they
on there. That's this is the gospel
They
truth,
would
brother.
not be believing
It's
in
not
the
it's not a
core
call and
doctrine of
it's
Islam if
it's
they
a
believe
private
he was
one between them two.
Is it only
And
a core
Libiano cried a
doctrine
long
after
time
it's
ago that
revealed?
he don't want to talk to me.
before
Stop
it's revealed?
telling him to talk to me.
Well,
Libiano
it
is
would've been revealed to them in
he
the
will
first
not
century that,
because
then-
none of the
Show
stuff
me
he
that
does
in
to
the
these
Quran.
guys I'll give it right back to
So
him.
with the
He'll
wait a
be
minute,
crying.
Wait a minute. So we get this straight. So they were not
I'm
actually
You think his mouth
preaching
is dry
what
now?
is in the
We're all-
Quran. They were not actually preaching the. You got to answer the question, man. This is open dialogue.
Got
We're
it.
not running.
Let's
Okay,
allow-
listen.
let's allow Lana answer the question. Lana, answer
It
the
is
question. Go
open
ahead.
dialogue, man.
Yeah. So they were not actually preaching what the Quran teaches.
Thank you,
heard
Marcus.
that
Thank
from
you, man.
Libiano, folks. Thank you for that. I'm
No,
really
they
happy
were-
to
they were
know
teaching-
the
they
disciples
teaching
were
exactly
preaching a
what the Quran
lie.
teaches.
They
They
were
were teaching
preaching a lie
exactly what the
according to
Quran
Libiano.
teaches because the Quran says it was made to appear so. So the disciples.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Okay, so they weren't
Because
preaching
Quran
it
says
was
it was
made to
made
appear so.
to
They were
appear so.
preaching he was. Notice that. They were preaching
are
he
you-
was.
Clip it.
Not what the Quran teaches.
Clip
He just
it.
buried the Quran. Thank you for that.
IP
I
literally can't track. The Quran says it was made to appear so, and that was only shed light on in the 7th century. So before it was shed light on, because God made it appear so, it was so, right?
All right, it's time for me to ask questions now. Can we actually go back because he's been rambling? For
Yeah,
10
the same
minutes.
thing.
That's
Circular,
what I-
circular, circular.
Thanks for
Circular
throwing
duck
Islam under
lips.
the bus. I appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate you.
Okay,
And
so
Ibn
again,
Kathir
when
while you're
When
at
did
it.
the
And
Roman
Ibn Kathir while you're
Empire
at
end,
it.
and how do you know it was 1453? What metric?
According to scholarship, it ended 1453. That's what
So if
mainstream historians
scholars
say.
say
Let me-
so-
I'm answering your question. Are you a historian, Mike Jones?
No, neither are you.
No, neither are you. But go
Thank
on.
you.
Oh, okay. That's exactly why we appeal to people who are experts, because we're not historians, right, Mike Jones? So according to mainstream historians, Rome was ended in 14.
Why are you
But
doing
remember,
tricks?
Mike Jones,
What?
I'm not making the argument that according to Daniel.
Yes, Maria. So
it
Allah
must be
deceived to be
fulfilled
Christians
by
to believe
the
in Jesus Christ instead of
Ottomans
Amen.
destroying
Yeah.
Rome. I don't
Notice
even
he didn't
need
want to
that as
answer
a
that, though.
necessary condition.
He did sound like a baby saint. He looks like one too.
Needs is
Sad.
for Rome to be subjugated so
guys,
much.
share the stream, guys. Share the stream. It got restricted for whatever reason for 10 minutes, so let's go ahead and share it.
Anymore.
Got it. So let's go on that. So the criteria now is what historians say. Are there any historians that specialize in Daniel that agree with your interpretation of Daniel? If they are now the criterion for determining truth, I guess we have to throw out your interpretation of Daniel then.
What's my interpretation of Daniel?
You think the stone is Islam, and no historians I can find say that.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's a good question. So when I appeal when I appeal to historians on a specific point, it doesn't mean that I must accept the historian on every point.
Oh
Why?
my
I'm locally
gosh,
justified
bro.
And independently justified.
Oh
by
my
other
gosh,
means. Because
there's
you
no
and I
way.
have certain theological presuppositions that we could use to interpret Daniel that the historian doesn't have epistemic access to.
There is no way.
Great. So can you justify it ending in 1453, or do you just not know?
He doesn't know.
Yeah, according
This is embarrassing.
to mainstream
Pick and choose Muslim. Amen.
It ended in
Amen.
1453.
He don't want answers throughout 3151. He's trying to hide the truth. Yeah, absolutely.
No, that's
You
not what
can't
I
actually
said. I said I have.
Big thing.
No,
If Mike
it
Jones
just
is
means
lost,
that
then
I
why
have
is it the
no
Libyano
reason-
didn't know where
Mike,
Rome was?
Is it that, Mike, let me ask you this.
If inspiring philosophy is lost, then why is it that when Libyano was making insinuations about the Ottoman Empire defeating the Roman Empire, right? Why is it that when Mike Jones asked a question about whether or not they took over Italy, he didn't even know that there was a correlation between Italy and Rome?
Muhammad in the Bible. We've been going for 20 minutes. You've given nothing.
And you're the one asking me about the Roman Empire. Now you don't want to talk about it anymore? All right.
No, that's what you brought up. Of course I have to talk about it.
So Mike Jones, according to this mainstream view, my
Libo is above all
interpretation
Muslim scholars. In his
right?
mind, he is. In his mind, he is.
No, it doesn't, because you're saying it's objective.
Well, what are you doing?
Big thing, I'm not going to allow you to obfuscate from the fact that Libyano's over here getting whooped, because I know that's what you want, because he's embarrassing and so are you.
Stay on topic, bro.
Thank you, man.
Again, the response to your question was the metric that is used is that the mainstream historians say that
The
Rome
mainstream
ended
historians, watch
in
this.
1453.
Oh, come on, get a mic.
I have no
Get a
reason
mic.
to doubt that hypothesis.
Get a mic.
Therefore, the
So now our
hypothesis, therefore,
metric-
is the case.
Yeah, he's violating
Now
Mike
our
Jones, but
metric
he
is
didn't
what
even know where Rome
historians
was,
have
right?
to say, what
Stupid.
experts have
How
to say.
stupid.
There are no experts that agree with you on your interpretation of Matthew. There are no experts that agree with your interpretation of Daniel. Therefore, you just threw your entire argument under the bus. You just debunked yourself.
And how did I answer that, Mike Jones? When you asked me about that just now, or are you not using your ears?
You
I
got a
said
double
I am
standard.
No, I don't, because I'm independently justified by other reasons, because I have a different epistemology. Do you have the same epistemology as secular historians, Mike?
In some areas, yes, I have to. Yeah, because they use basic facts
but not,
and use
but not entirely, right?
No.
Yeah, Libyano stays getting
That doesn't
cooked.
have nothing to do with the topic, though.
He stays
You
getting
said
cooked.
your metric for ending the Roman Empire
Exactly, Clark.
was
Loud
what
don't make you right.
historians have to say. Then when I say, great, let's use
when
that
I-
metric for
let me-
other
let me
areas,
finish.
you
No,
throw
don't
it
cut me
out.
off.
You don't
Don't
even
cut
bring
me
it
off.
up.
You're making donuts out of
it's
Libyano.
hard to-
Guys, it's hard to understand when you guys are talking over each other, man.
Yeah.
Let's try to center in on. Let's try to get back on the topic and let's focus, man. It's hard to understand what you guys are saying.
Yeah, he's not.
Libyano had no idea that there was a correlation between Italy and
The
Rome.
Roman Empire in 1453 is because historians say so. But he uses a completely different methodology for Daniel. It's not a consistent methodology.
It's
The Barbara.
You just said you don't
The
have
Gospel
the same
Truth on
epistemology.
YouTube. Go subscribe. The
Are you
Gospel
not-
Truth
are you
on
not
YouTube.
tracking?
The Gospel Truth on
You
YouTube.
yourself
Different, man.
You yourself admitted that you don't share the same epistemology. So I am.
He said on some
justified in
things I
saying
do.
that, look, there's this historical event. There's this historical evidence, and because of this historical evidence, historians come to that conclusion. I have no reason to reject their hypothesis based on my established methodology and my established epistemology. So
I'd ask him to
I have no
explain
reason,
his
Mike,
established
to think
methodology.
that
Watch.
Rome wasn't ended in 1453.
I just keep searching until I find an answer that I want.
You didn't address that I don't need 1453 for the prophecy to follow, because according to Daniel, ending
I don't need
Rome
1453. The Orthodox lesbian is super cringe. Absolutely. Thank you, humble land. Appreciate you. God bless. Thank you, guys. Make sure you share the stream, guys. Please click the subscribe button here. Click the bell for red notifications. Share. But more than that, go to the Gospel Truth, guys. Go to the Gospel Truth and sub. He's an amazing, amazing, amazing
Persia
channel.
was done and Greece was done. And remember, Mike.
Okay,
You
can I
said that
respond now?
What? I'm landing. You said it ended in 12 in the 1200s, right?
Okay, can I respond now?
Oh man,
you done?
The time is yours.
Let me respond.
Go.
Yeah. Thank you.
Could
Finally, I get to actually talk.
Thank you for asking permission.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Good. Perfect. Okay. So by that logic, you can't say Islam ended the Roman Empire, because when it broke up into other pieces in the West, they never conquered that. And no, they didn't actually destroy it the way those other kingdoms did. Because again, the Roman Empire broke up. It was never fully conquered by the prior kingdoms.
Danny, if IP is getting cooked, then why did Leviano not even know where Rome was?
You haven't even given me
Are you on track?
1453. 1204 is a more definitive date, but if you want to keep going, you have to conclude that the Ottomans are the continuation of the Roman Empire, as they claimed, or that the Holy Roman Empire is the reformulation of the Western Roman Empire, and that ended in 1806 when Napoleon destroyed it. So you actually need to show something here, because by your own metrics, they did not actually destroy the Roman Empire or take over it like the prior kingdoms did. So this doesn't work for you. Islam does not fulfill Daniel 2 by that logic.
Okay, beautiful. So you notice how Mike Jones didn't respond to what I said. Mike Jones, you said that it happened in the 1200s, right?
Yeah, 1204, when the Latin Crusaders came in, broke it up, and then established their own empire. Yeah.
What's the metric?
So again, it's similar to what happened in the West. So
what's the metric?
Outside invaders, I'm telling you, outside invaders came in. They conquered Constantinople, and then it split into distinct kingdoms. The Latin Empire, the Despotate of Epirus, the Empire of Trebizond, and the Empire of Nicaea.
This is a watch party, bro. It's a watch party. Do you know what a watch party is? Do I look like I'm interested in talking to you? I was live like for 4 hours earlier.
And Islam never conquered it.
So Rome ended in the 1200s, right?
Yeah.
Okay, what ended in 1453? Because something ended.
Yeah, the rump state called Nicaea.
The rump state?
Yeah, the rump state that retook Constantinople, kicked out the Latin Empire, and so
what was it? And what was it known as?
It was known as the Empire of Nicaea, and then they started calling themselves the Romans again.
Oh, okay. So it was known as the Romans, right? Byzantine Rome?
Yeah, the same as the Ottomans. They're known as the Romans too.
Oh, okay, beautiful. So can you demonstrate that metric that you used for the 1200s with the Medo-Persians and the Greeks?
Beautiful.
No, because that's a different thing. They ended differently. That's my point. That's my whole point. That's my whole point, man. Beautiful. You're not even tracking with me. It's completely different.
Wow. Thank you so much, Michael Jones.
You don't get it, man. You don't get it, man.
The
metric,
metric,
you don't get this at all.
I don't get it. Hey, man.
No.
Again, you're on your period again. So Michael Jones.
Wow. Listen to the insults, ladies and gentlemen.
Listen to the insults.
Come on, guys. Let's chill on the insults.
That's not great. Bro,
let's talk.
Gospel truth. You need to...
Why do you
keep getting emotional, man? That's why he has to keep insulting me.
Right,
man.
yeah.
So he's getting so emotional.
Wow.
When Leviano is losing, he starts insulting.
Yeah, please get back on topic.
Poor guy.
Yeah. Poor guy. Yeah. So
go brush your teeth, bro.
The metric that is used for the 1200s, is it the same metric for the end of Babylon?
No.
Oh, okay. So Babylon didn't end?
It did end, yeah, when they were
nature. And that's what Mike Jones said earlier.
So it is the same metric?
No, you're not actually answering my questions. Okay.
No, don't run. No, don't run.
I'm not running. I want to keep talking about this.
So this is the metric that you use for the end of Rome in the 1200s, right?
It broke up into smaller kingdoms. Yeah, very different than the prior empires.
All right, beautiful. Did that happen with Babylon?
No, it's completely conquered by the Persians, so it's different. So how do you justify the stone doing the exact same thing?
Okay, beautiful. So one sec. You're saying that the end of Rome happened one way, and that constitutes its end, but that very end, what constitutes an end, didn't happen to Greece and the Medo-Persians, right?
Man,
they were completely conquered by prior empires, unlike the Roman Empire. So you still haven't given me your metric for 1453.
So doesn't Daniel say Rome will be divided?
Of course he does. Yeah, 395. It divided.
Oh, okay, but it's not specifically referring to 395, right?
That's what you've been saying for years. Now it's not.
Uh-oh.
What?
That's a weird argument. So now it doesn't divide in 395. So you're not changing your argument.
Can you answer the question, Mike?
No, you got to answer me because you've been saying that the split that Daniel talks about is 395. Answer that.
So I'll answer you, Mike.
What?
Yeah, I previously made the argument that the split specifically refers to 395.
Your version of reality is always different, man.
So?
Yeah, I think it's split in 395 into the Western and the Eastern. That's
is that the only
fact?
And Daniel speaking about 395 only?
No, yeah, well, because you have 2 legs. So according to that, you would have 2 leg, 2 split kind of thing. So that makes actual
But what about
sense.
what about
So,
what about the toes?
What about?
Then you have
Nah, who's stuttering, bro?
So you want to include the toes?
Oh.
Who's
You want to
stuttering?
include the toes?
Oh.
What about?
Great.
So you have
You
the
just
toes.
conceded the
What
point.
about-
You
what about-
just conceded everything.
All right.
Okay, so then, what are the toes of the Western Roman Empire? What are the toes of the Western Roman Empire?
Don't panic.
What are the toes of the Western Roman
Here
Empire?
comes the rhetoric. Here comes the rhetoric.
Tell me the
Here comes
toes.
the rhetoric.
Tell me what the toes are.
Don't panic.
Tell
The
me what the
toes
toes are.
refer.
Here
the
comes the
toes
rhetoric.
refer to different divisions and different kings, as Daniel 7 says. So don't
Yeah,
panic.
Limbo apparently is
Division is a
above.
Western and the Eastern one,
Mike
right?
panicking.
Don't
Be a
panic.
division in the
Daniel,
Yeah, don't panic.
You won't answer
Daniel
my
doesn't
question.
specify.
Guys, you won't answer my question. Notice
No,
this.
you won't answer my question. Daniel doesn't specify
Oh,
one division. Daniel just says the Romans will be divided. Some will be weak, or one part will be weak, and different parts will be strong. Different parts will be weak. They'll be strong and they'll be brittle. All right. So according to this, I'm justified in thinking that
getting
the
out
Roman
zooted.
Empire will
Libiano's
divide,
getting
unlike
zooted.
other empires. So now, please tell me, because I asked you earlier, under the view
Libiano is
it
cooking. Is
ended
that
in
why he didn't know that Rome's in
1453,
Italy?
Does Islam
Explain to me. I
fulfill
want
the
one
intent
Muslim
of
to explain to me why Libiano didn't know that Rome was in Italy.
No,
Because he's
it
too
does
stupid
not.
to know
And
where
I'll tell
Rome
you
even
why.
is.
It's quite simple. Because
okay.
they did not claim to end it. They claimed to inherit it and
Yeah,
continue
it is effortless
on
for Libiano
that
to be
empire.
stupid. We know.
So did
All right,
Russia.
show me.
So did
Can
the
you- can
Holy
you-
Roman
can you-
Empire.
can you-
Hey, Bible makes me
can you-
sleep at
Can you
night.
show me where the Ottomans said that they're Romans and they thought they're Romans?
Allah created Rome.
Yeah, it's from. I was going to read you this quote earlier, and you panicked and wouldn't let me. Chris
All right.
Wickham, Medieval Europe, Chapter 2 says East Rome.
Yeah.
From then on, we call it the Byzantine Empire, not the Roman Empire. Although its inhabitants called themselves Roman until its end, continued on for another 1,000 years until the conquest of the last remnants of the Ottoman Turks in the 15th century. And then the Ottomans used some of the basic fiscal administrative structures of the Byzantine past in their
Look at all the
own
little
state
Muslims
building,
in here
focused on their
trying to
new
glaze
capital in
Libiano and his busted yellow
Constantinople,
teeth.
Istanbul. In some sense, then the Roman Empire lasted until the First World War. So yeah, you can also check.
You
out
just
the
said, Mike,
Holy-
Mike,
Let me
Mike,
finish.
Mike,
Let me
you
finish.
Look,
said
who's panicking?
they
Look
themselves
who's
said that
panicking.
they are Romans, right?
Look who's
running.
panicking.
Yep.
Yep,
They
look
did,
who's
yeah.
panicking.
They said they were Romans.
I'm going to finish. You won't
All
let
right.
me, man.
Yeah, finish. It's okay. The time
Yeah.
is finished, but you can keep reading. Go ahead.
Is the time up, Marlon?
No,
Yeah.
you can.
Time
It's
is
okay.
up.
You
Time
can.
is up.
No,
Time
he
is
can.
up.
It's okay. I give him permission to keep reading the quote.
Nobody needs your
And
permission,
I hope
fat
it's
boy.
gonna say that the Ottomans thought
Nobody
that
needs your
they
permission.
were Romans, that they were the Roman Empire.
Yeah, they did
wanna
think
read
that
the
just
quote?
like the Byzantines did.
All right. Can you?
Yeah,
You said you're
I'll
gonna
read-
read it. Can you read it?
Okay, I got 3 more quotes here. Let's just read this one. Okay. Crap, I just actually lost my thing. So finally, by conquering Constantinople, the seat of the Roman emperors, the Ottomans asserted the title of Caesar. They refused to address the Holy Roman Empire
He's like, he got a
emperors as
six-pack.
Caesars on
Yeah.
the grounds that there could
And
be
his
only
refrigerator.
one Caesar on earth. Thus, they addressed Charles
Dude, how
V
gay
simply as
can you
King
be?
of Spain and his
Seriously?
successor
You
Ferdinand
in here
as the
glazing
King of
and say
Austria.
he
This
got a
is in the book
six-pack?
Holy Roman Empire and Ottomans, page 3.
Bro has a
by
keg.
Mehmet
So where,
Hasan
so where, sorry,
Bertel.
where does it say that? So where are the Ottomans saying we are Romans? We are the Roman Empire?
They're calling themselves Caesars of Rome. How does that not resonate with you?
So
What are you
calling
talking about?
yourself Caesar means you
All
think
right,
you're a
guys.
Roman?
Yes, it does.
Guys, go subscribe to Marlon Wilson,
Okay,
the Gospel
so
Truth.
you guys saw it here.
You guys,
Calling yourself Caesar makes you
We're going to
the
conclude.
Roman Empire.
We're going
Nice,
to
man.
conclude the 30-minute cross open discussion.
Sounds good.
We're going to conclude it.
A grown
and
man
end it.
glazing another man. How pathetic.
Many people were confused about.
Somebody, he got a six-pack. Libiano ain't got no six-pack.
I think I was following.
That boy got a keg.
In some way, anyway. I think
That's why he's
you
obsessed
guys
with
are
bacon.
attempting to try to argue historical points to try to show that Muhammad is in the Bible or outside of the Bible.
Guys, share the stream. Share the
I
stream.
think
Share the
that
stream,
was
please.
the
Make
point
sure you
of
smash that like
argument,
button, please.
but it
Click the
did
bell, hit the
venture
sub
off a
button,
little too
and
much.
definitely go to the Gospel Truth and sub to him over there,
maybe
guys,
next
please.
time we can
He does
do a
great
better
stuff.
job at keeping it on point a little better. But nonetheless, it's time for our 5-minute closings. Mr. Orthodox, you are up for your 5-minute closing.
Oh, and now Mike gets the last word.
And I will start your 5-minute
That's beautiful.
timer as soon as you begin to speak.
That's beautiful. Don't worry, I
Thank
made
you
sure to
very much.
tweet
I'll
out
use this
that
time to address
Orthodox
some of the
Muslim
things
doesn't
that
know
he,
that Rome is in Italy.
That he just just talked about. And
yeah, he's eating bacon behind closed doors and sausage and ham. What you talking about, bro?
He never got to respond to that.
Mike is getting cooked. Then why did Libiano not even know that Rome was in Italy?
Matthew, he said it's hyper literal. Then he got destroyed on that. He said that the Roman army is God's army, and he got destroyed on that.
No, he didn't.
Jesus historically crucified and died. He failed. He thinks that we don't think that the first century Christians believe that Jesus crucified, and he admitted that the crucifixion does not necessitate Christianity.
He
admitted
admit that.
3 gods, hence Christianity can't be the
He didn't do that either.
empire. He admitted that according to scholarship,
This guy literally makes it up as he goes
spoke
along.
Of Ahmed to come, who will sit
He's
on the
making
right
it up
hand
as
of
he goes
God,
along.
will be the Son of Man to usher in the kingdom of God.
Everything Libiano
He
just said is a
admitted
lie,
that
just so you guys
prophecies
know.
can be taken out of context as long as they're typological. He admitted that Songs of Solomon is a prophecy about Muhammad. He admitted that Isaiah 29 is a prophecy about Muhammad alayhi salam. So that's awesome, man. Thank you so much for that.
This guy just writes down lies and then reads them out loud, because he knows his audience is going to glaze him and lie and say he got a six-pack.
Speak about that because he was stuck on that. Anyways, in order to get away, I want everybody
Messenger.
to pay attention here.
Amen.
In order to get away from the inevitable conclusion,
Thank you, Harvest Noel.
he has to play semantics and dance around and try to claim that the Turks are Ottomans or that the Turks are Romans. That the Ottoman Empire really just is the Roman Empire.
What's up with those teeth?
That's what AIP wants us to believe. But why does he want us to believe that? Well, he wants us to believe that because according to the timeline and according to the mainstream historical view, you don't even need it. According to what we see, according to the historical data, the Muslims came, and all of a sudden, they subjugated the Romans,
Antoine, that's a great question.
the Persians, and grew
Libiano's
as a
definitely a
mountain and filled
narcissist.
the whole earth. They destroyed
Because you got people
Rome
even in my comment
1453.
section, even in my chat,
That's the
glazing
icing
him,
on the
saying that
cake.
he got a six-pack.
Okay, but Christians way before that, in the
The boy
7th
doesn't have an
century,
ounce of muscle
and
on him.
Jews way before that, from the 7th
He
to
has
the
a
10th
six-pack.
centuries, admitted that the Romans were destroyed and subjugated by the sons of Ishmael, by the kingdom of Ishmael. So you had to appeal to secular takes. You had to appeal to fringe takes to avoid the unavoidable.
Come on, guys, on YouTube, share the stream, share the stream, share the stream. Let's see if we can get it over triple digits.
And there's just
let's try to get to triple digits before the closing statements are over.
Out of this, he got refuted on Matthew. We never got to speak about Psalm 74, unfortunately, or Malachi. We didn't have enough time. But
Amen, Tanner.
Yeah, thank you, IP, so much for the concessions. The clips are gonna go crazy. And yeah, thank you for having me, host. I appreciate it. I enjoyed this, and hopefully I could come back here.
The clips are gonna go crazy.
Thank you for being a fair moderator. That's all I need.
Thank you for your 5-minute closing. All right, Mike, you are up for your 5-minute closing, and I will start your time as soon as you begin to speak.
All right. Thank you for the dialogue. I really appreciate it, Marlon. And just remember, I mean, just look how emotional he got.
Let's go, baby.
Insults,
Triple digits. Let's keep it climbing, guys. Let's keep it climbing.
Responding. Again, he said on TikTok that he thinks 50% of debates is rhetoric. So just remember, there was one guy here, him, who was just focusing on rhetoric, and one who kept trying to present facts. And it just didn't work. He had no response to the biblical prophet dilemma. Again, you guys are looking for your Muhammad in our book.
Right.
He's supposed to teach your theology. Okay, the prophets in our books teach our theology. So whatever it is, they cannot be yours. So, it's funny. I was going to say that he was going to show Islam is false by trying to show Muhammad is in the Bible. He didn't even show Muhammad is in the Bible. He did not defend Surah 7:157 or Surah 61:6. I guess he thinks that you can't find those in the Bible. He never once did that. So I guess he conceded the debate. Thank you for that. The Quran is wrong when it claims that we can find the description of the unlettered prophet in our Torah and Gospel, because I didn't see any evidence of that.
Nope.
And I guess Surah 61:6 is also wrong because Jesus never spoke of someone named Ahmed. So great. That's perfect. He all he did was to try to say that Bart Ehrman says, or some other scholars say that Jesus speaks of the Son of Man as a different person. But Bart Ehrman, as I point out, acknowledges in the Gospel of Mark, Jesus is the Son of Man. I thought the debate was, is Muhammad in the Bible? Not is Muhammad in the works of Bart Ehrman. So he's confused about the debate topic. He doesn't understand typology. You can concede that if you start with Islam is true, and then you can read typological patterns into the Old Testament, That's not actually arguing for Islam. That's conceding that you can't, because you have to do typology. If you're just doing typology, you're not actually arguing the case. And you don't actually understand what typology is if you think that was a concession. Yep. And he couldn't answer me on the Roman Empire. Yeah. Okay. I have pointed out, he just laughed at the Ottomans' claim, which is weird. Okay. I argued the Roman Empire ended in 1204 when it broke up into smaller kingdoms. Same with the Western. That was never conquered by Islam. If we're going on this, though, if other people can come in and rule and claim to be Romans, like the Byzantines, who were Greek by descent, who spoke a different language, if they can claim to be Romans because they inherited the Roman Empire, even though they weren't Latin-speaking, ethnically Italians, then so can the Ottomans. So can the Russians. Yep. So can the Holy Roman Empire. But see, he doesn't deal with any of these historical issues because he can't. And he just acknowledged that. He conceded everything on that because he said, I don't know. I just go on what the secular historians say. But he won't do that when it comes to his interpretation of the Bible. Yep. So he's got a double standard there. He will use what the secular historians say for the Roman Empire, but won't do it for Daniel. And he can give no metric whatsoever. So what else? Also, the Ottomans didn't fill the whole earth. Islam didn't fill the whole earth. So that doesn't work either. The stone is a spiritual kingdom. It's made not with human hands, and it does something different, as John Walton points out. Yeah. It destroys the whole statue. If it was just another earthly kingdom, it would just be another layer, but it's doing something else. It's destroying the entire system of empires. He wanted to bring up Malachi 3. Malachi 3 isn't going to work. It's not about an exile, as he likes to argue. Christopher K.W. Moore says, the prophet writing after the return from the exile took up the theme and looked forward to a time when the Lord would once more return to the temple. He says the Lord is going to return to the temple, not some prophet. Also, Malachi 3:3 says he will purify the sons of Levi. Muhammad never did that. So going to that would have been very embarrassing for him. Good thing he didn't have time to do that. It just would have been bad. So again, no evidence that Islam actually ended the Roman Empire. It broke up into smaller kingdoms, many of which are still existing today. So it doesn't actually work. You can't say that Islam fulfills Daniel 2, because again, it doesn't actually operate like the stone does from heaven. And remind you, once again, we saw no evidence that Muhammad is in the Bible. He focused on Daniel 2 and Matthew, which he couldn't actually respond on. He just had to literally read into those parables when it was convenient for him, and then ignore details that didn't align up. For example, the first parable says the sun and the air will be killed. He wants to argue that's John the Baptist. John the Baptist is never called the sun or the air. Only Jesus is. And yet, guess what? The prior parable doesn't do that either. He's misunderstood that parable in his prior talks on this. Exactly. So again, no evidence Muhammad is in the Bible, unfortunately. Therefore, I guess Islam is false. He did not defend Surah 7, 157 or Surah 61:6. No. Even if he was right about those, that still would not be Muhammad in the Bible. He spent this whole time not even debating the topic. I had a lot of fun though, and I look forward to the 80 videos of damage control he'll have to do after this. So it's gonna be great.
It's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be a lot.
It's gonna be a lot. Fantastic, fiery debate. I know many people in the live chat are like, man, it was off topic. Moderator, you ain't stepping in enough and all that. You guys don't understand how difficult it can be when you guys get to these discussions like this, man. So a lot of people are in the chat chiming in. They don't know the substance, man. And half of them ain't never been in a type of discussion that you guys are in, but they have so many criticisms. But the idea is that at the end of the day, I do appreciate you guys' conversation. I think we got a lot out of it. And maybe we can do this again sometime. And so now we're going to jump into our 30-minute Q&A. And so we do have a lot of questions here. So the way the Q&A works is that each of you will get 1 minute to respond to the question.
Oh, I thought they were finishing
the person who the question was originally for gets a 30-second response after the second person responds to the question that it wasn't originally for. So hopefully you guys understand what I'm saying there.
Libiano's
let's see I would be too if I can find a question. A lot of these are just statements.
Libiano, he knows he got wrecked. I mean, you can see it in his face.
If you did a super chat just to insult one of the debaters, you wasted money. You wasted your money because I'm not going to read it. So I'm only looking for questions. So that's what I'm looking for here.
He did get
All right,
wrecked.
so here's a question for you, and I think this question's
He
for
ain't
you,
doing them duck lips. He's
Orthodox
sucking them
Muslim
in.
here.
He's sucking them duck lips in.
And for whatever reason, this thing does not want to cooperate here.
That's going on X.
All right, so I have to force it up here. All right, so the question is, thank you for the support, Dawa Troll. How does the failed prophecies prove Muhammad is in the Bible?
Sorry, how does failed prophecies?
Yeah, prove Muhammad is in the Bible is the question here.
I don't. That question is unintelligible. I don't know what that means. How does failed prophecies prove the Prophet Muhammad in the Bible? I don't know what that means.
I think he might have been poking fun at it, but I mean, if you want to answer, you're not too worried about it, then we can just.
Well, there's nothing to answer. I'm just like I don't know what he's saying. Question is unintelligible.
All right, Mike, you got anything to say about that?
I'm not sure what he means as well. We can move on.
All right, so we are definitely doing that. Let's move on. Let's see if I can. So bear with me because there's a lot of questions here. Yep. And here's a question for Orthodox here. This comes from Chris Claus. Thank you, Chris, for the support. The verses you quoted, do you believe Allah revealed these verses to
the Prophet?
You quoted, do you believe Allah revealed these verses to the Prophet you quoted?
Yeah, so I gave a couple justifications for why I quoted the parables of Matthew, because, I'll be accused of cherry picking, but it's not, because we have to treat all relevant historical data as historical reports. I'm not justified in just accepting them without reasonable grounds. Therefore, that's why I employed the criteria of authenticity, like the criterion of dissimilarity and criterion of independent attestation, for Matthew 21, Matthew 22. As for Daniel, I believe it's a tradition that goes back to Daniel. I don't think the book of Daniel is written by Daniel himself. But why I think that it's a prophecy and it's divinely inspired, because it could be externally verified by its fulfillment. And because its fulfillment is so clear, therefore the prophecy must go back to the prophet.
IP?
Yeah, this is, again, these prophecies are theologically indexed. And if he's going to apply historical criteria, then he's got to also look at that elsewhere. For example, if you go to, Mark 8, where Jesus is talking about the Son of Man, he says the Son of Man is going to die. But, scholars like Mike Licona will note that claim in its context, where he tries to rebukes Peter for trying to stop him, that means things like the criterion of dissimilarity, criterion of embarrassment, historical and cultural congruence, multiple attestation. So he'd have to accept those as well. He'd have to accept a lot of the other aspects of the Gospels that would contradict Islam, which he's not going to do. So he's really just picking and choosing when he wants to apply the historical criteria and when he doesn't.
All right. Orthodox Muslim, you get 30 seconds.
Oh, I can respond to that? Oh, okay.
Yeah, awesome. You get 30 seconds to respond.
Oh, okay. Cool. So no, absolutely not. Just because a text or a prophecy is theologically indexed, I would agree with him that it's obviously going to be theologically indexed. But just because...
User, if you see IP getting wrecked, then you better ask yourself why Libiano didn't even know that Rome was in Italy.
What the author who's writing this down or receiving this tradition means.
You guys are almost too stupid to function, man. It's crazy.
Seminary notes. Or scholars like E.P. Sanders, scholars like Adela Collins, they would say that, look, originally Jesus spoke of the Son of Man as a distinct figure, but the Gospel of Mark and the Gospel of Matthew think the Son of Man is Jesus. The Gospel authors are applying this to Jesus, but originally this didn't apply to Jesus. So that's an example of something that's theologically indexed, but its origin can be traced to mean something else. And other scholars note that with Paul as well, with the pre-Pauline traditions that Paul inherits, and creeds and confessional statements and so on and so forth.
Sorry. He's definitely not addressing the question.
All right, so this question's for you, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
And question for IP. Can you read 2 Peter 2:16 in the KJV? It's Muhammad in the Bible.
2 Peter.
What is it? 2 Peter 2:16.
Yeah, 2 Peter 2:16 in the KJV, it's Muhammad in the Bible.
Oh, but was rebuked for his own transgression. A speechless donkey spoke with human voice and restrained the prophet's madness.
I think he's just poking fun.
Yeah, he is. Yeah,
these guys, man. Let me see. Yeah, a lot of these are just like statements and like insults, and I'm not trying to read these statements here, man.
Hey, big shout out to Danny Davis 1912, man, on YouTube at Danny Davis 1912. Definitely go follow that guy. WIP Libiano getting wrecked by inspiring philosophy, baby. Libiano getting wrecked as if it was ever going to turn out any other way.
There's some statements here that I think are worthy to sort of interact with here. So this one is coming from IP's partner with Inspired Philosophy, and I think it's maybe a worthy to interact with. He says external verification. Yeah, he says external verification fails. Verifying a verse requires interpretation. Interpretation needs prior context and theology. That theology excludes Muhammad, who contradicts biblical doctrine. So that's a statement, but I think it's a worthy interaction. What do you think,
Sure.
Orthodox?
Sure. Yeah, I disagree. I think that doesn't follow. If there is a prophecy in the biblical text, as long as we could demonstrate that it's externally verifiable, then we have reasonable ground to accept this to be from God. And no, like I said, not every tradition has to align with its theological index, meaning if the author intends one thing by tradition, it doesn't mean that the tradition aligns with the intention of the author. And several scholars note that. Number two, I don't think that Islamic doctrine contradicts any Old Testament doctrine as far as the fundamental doctrines go. I think the New Testament doctrines contradict, as IP admitted 3 gods.
Right, Mike? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, he, for some reason, didn't want to debate the topic earlier and wanted to try to debate the Trinity for some weird reason. But the point of this is that external verification fails if you're not actually in line with those texts. So, for example, like when you go through the Bible, it's going to predict prophets. Unless you're going to get a prediction like, yeah, this prophet's going to come and he's going to correct your corrupted scriptures, it doesn't work. Like, for example, if you were going to go through like Aztec writings, and we were going to, and they were going to predict coming prophets, for example, in this hypothetical world, we would expect them to be in line with Aztec theology. And so we couldn't actually use that as data because it would be a total contradiction of the theology that's presented. That's why I said he's got to find his Muhammad in our scriptures, which is impossible. That's why this argument completely fails. And that's why you just need to stop using it. You got to use other means of verification for your religion. This one is completely circular, or it just flat out fails.
All right, you get 30 seconds.
I get to respond?
Yeah, 30 seconds.
Yeah, nice rhetoric, IP, but that doesn't work. So like I said, IP is begging the question there. Islam does not think that it doesn't co-align with previous prophets. It does affirm that. However, we're saying that these texts are not entirely reliable. You're asking me, how do I determine between what is reliable and what is not reliable? But I do agree that the message coming after must align with the message coming before. And I gave you my criteria and my justification as to why I would accept one tradition over the other. And you do the same thing with Enoch, by the way.
All right. This question is for you, IP. Should have one here. Let me make sure. Where's it at? I just had it up here too. Hold on. Where did he go? Sorry, guys. These questions got me all bogged up right here. Because I had a question for you, and I'm trying to find it. Man, where is this question at? Gosh, man.
I don't know, worries. Take your time.
Yeah. Question. Where is it? All right, here's a question for the IP right here.
Okay.
All right, it says IP said that Liviano threw Ivan Qatar under the bus for Ivan Tamayya. Am I pronouncing that right? Hopefully I did. My question for IP: do you know who teacher of Ibn Qatar is?
Ibn Kathir, you mean?
Ibn Kathir. I'm sorry.
Ibn Kathir and Ibn Taymiyyah. Yeah.
Okay, got you.
No, I don't remember off the top of my head, but I'm referring to the tafsir on Surah 61:14, where Ibn Kathir says that Jesus asked his disciples, who's going to be the substitute for him to die. So they were obviously made aware of this, and so you'd be throwing a scholar under the bus there by the Islamic standard.
Right.
Wow, man. Yeah, IP keeps pooping himself. So, for example, when Irenaeus says that Jesus is 50 years old, does that mean you're throwing Irenaeus under the bus if you reject his opinion? So there's nothing dogmatic about what happened at the crucifixion. There's different opinions. There's different traditions that are passed down by the Salaf, but no, we're not obliged to accept them. And my position, you're arguing against my position, is that the disciples were not aware. And thank you for conceding that it doesn't necessitate Christianity.
Can I respond to that now? Yeah. So again, he said that they were supposed to teach what the Quran teaches. But according to him, the disciples were going around teaching that Jesus really did die and gave rise to Christianity because of that teaching. So it's just, if they were actually teaching Islam, they would be teaching it was made to appear that he did, and they weren't. So they were deceived. They were teaching something that the Quran doesn't teach. They're not Muslims. It just doesn't work. So yeah, it doesn't matter how many times he nervously laughs at it.
Okay.
All right. And here's a question for Limiano here. And this is coming from Metaphysic Mike. Question on the point that it was only made to appear as if Jesus died. Are you saying that the apostles also believe this, or they believe he did die, but only because it was made to appear so to them?
It's very simple, and I'm glad Metaphysics Mike is asking this. Very simple. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says he made it appear so. What does that mean? People believed it. People wrote it, transmitted it, said it, including the disciples. All right. Now, the knowledge that it was a mere appearance and not reality didn't come until the 7th century. So they had no reason to think that it was a mere appearance and not reality until God sheds light in the 7th century. But as he conceded, crucifixion doesn't necessitate Christianity. Christianity necessitates crucifixion, and that's Paul's point in Galatians chapter 3.
Yeah, so it just sounds like that Allah just basically created a false religion, deceived everyone for 600 years, and now we're going to take the word of an illiterate man claiming to be a prophet living in Arabia for some reason. This is absurd by any historical standards, and it's also an ad hoc reading. It's far more it's simpler and far more parsimonious to just say Jesus was crucified than it was just made to appear. You've added an additional layer that's just not justified in the historical data. So why should we trust? I mean, that's just a good reason to dismiss Islam. It's just an ad hoc religion.
Right. All right. I think you get 30 seconds, Liviano.
Oh, I get to respond? Wow, this guy is calling my answer ad hoc when he thinks when Jesus says, I don't know, he doesn't actually mean I don't know, but to declare. Wow, man. Ad hoc, he says. So no, it's not ad hoc. You're asking if it is Islamically justified, not historically justified. I could agree that independent from the Quran, the historical data suggests that Jesus died. But the Quran doesn't contradict that because the Quran says it was made to appear so. Now, am I justified into thinking that historically happened? Yes, because I have other independent reasons to think the Quran is true. Therefore, because the Quran is true, and this is not circular because I have other independent reason to first substantiate the Quran is true. Therefore, I could say that Jesus really didn't die. But historically, it seemed that way. And remember, you said crucifixion doesn't necessitate Christianity. Therefore, you can't make the claim that Allah started Christianity because crucifixion doesn't necessitate Christianity. Thank you, Mike.
All right, so here's a statement, Mike. Perhaps you can tackle this question here. And this is coming from Dean Responds. Thank you for the support. It says, 9th century historian Christian. I don't know how to pronounce these words, guys. You got to help me out here. Hayun bin Ishaq. Am I pronouncing that right?
Ibn Ishaq.
Ibn Ishaq. Okay. Has a Greek word doxed as Hamad. I'm telling you, I'm struggling with these words. He has also humped. Okay. He has also Endoxos as Muhammad. Endoxos as Muhammad. Would it be fair to say Ahmed would mean the person who has the most dox according to him? You understand that question, Mike?
I need to know what those words actually refer to.
All right. So can I explain it to him? I can explain it to him if you want.
Yeah. Explain it to him real quick.
All right. So he says, according to the source, 9th century historian Christian Hunayn ibn Ishaq. So Hunayn ibn Ishaq, who must have a Greek Arabic lexicon, I think that's what he's referring to. He has the Greek word dox or doxe as hamd, which is the root word for Ahmed and Muhammad. Hamada, right? And he also uses indoxos for Muhammad. Okay, so he's saying, can you repeat that last sentence? It doesn't show here. I'm on the YouTube. What does he say after indoxos?
He says, would it be fair to say Ahmed would mean the person who has the most dox according to him?
So he's saying, does Ahmed therefore mean the one who has the most doxos?
Oh yeah, Sarah, that's all they do is reach. That's
Okay.
No idea, because again, this is completely irrelevant to the topic. So I'm not prepared for this issue. Completely irrelevant to the topic, has nothing to do with Muhammad in the Bible. What some 9th century Christian was saying.
Has everything to do. Can I respond now? It has everything to do with Muhammad in the Bible, because IP conceded the debate and said that according to the earliest view, according to scholars like E.P. Sanders, Rudolf Bultmann, Adela Collins, Bart Ehrman, and most of German scholarship, the Son of Man was a distinct figure that Jesus spoke about, who comes at the right hand of the Father, and he is the most glorified. He is Ahmed. So thank you for admitting that according to the scholarship, Jesus spoke of Ahmed to come.
So the respond, this is, again, the debate Muhammad in the Bible, not is Muhammad in the works of E.P. Sanders. Okay. Bart Ehrman says, according to Mark, Jesus is the Son of Man. You don't seem to get that point. So again, notice what they have to do. They can't go to the Bible. They have to go to what skeptical scholars say. They don't actually even show this stuff. They just ad hoc assert it without any good, strong evidence. The overwhelming majority of scholars say Jesus is claiming to be the Son of Man, like Dale Allison, for example, N.T. Wright, Daryl Bach, for example. This is a small minority view, and they're not even going to the Bible. They're saying there's some earlier layer they can detect, and their evidence is they just say so. So again, if that's conceding the debate, you don't actually understand the debate.
Right. Look at Libbyano's face. Look at
maybe
Libbyano's
this is
face.
a statement you can actually, well, I think you got the last question, Mike, but let me see if I have a question for Mr.
Mike Jones.
I'm sure I do. Got a lot of questions here.
Libbyano getting wrecked, man.
All right, so here is a question for you, and I think it fits perfectly with the topic as well. Libbyano says here, if you think that Muhammad is the Son of Man to come, are you saying he was given dominion and glory by Allah, as Daniel said in Daniel 7?
Beautiful question. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, he gives dominion to whom he wants and he takes away dominion from whom he wants. So yes, Allah gives dominion and he takes away dominion, and the Son of Man, who is the Prophet Muhammad, was given dominion and authority because he's the leader. And he says, Ana Sayyidu Bani Adam, I am the master of the sons of men. So he is the Son of Man, who is the master of the Son of Man, who was given authority. And if he says, well, it says that all nations will serve him, well, the same word is used for King Nebuchadnezzar in Jeremiah 27, where it says all nations and all people will worship King Nebuchadnezzar. But the word there is pilach in the Targum, which means a service that's not necessarily due to God. Thank you.
All right. Mike, any thoughts?
Yeah, the problem for this is the Son of Man that comes in Daniel 7 comes with the clouds, and as J.A. Emerton notes, the act of coming with clouds suggests a theophany of Yahweh himself. If Daniel 7:13 does not refer to a divine being, then it is the only exception out of about 70 passages in the Old Testament. This is in the Origin of the Son of Man imagery and Studies on the Language and Literature of the Bible, page 440. So, I mean, if you're going that, you're claiming that the Bible says the Son of Man is divine.
Yeah.
Great. That would exclude Islam. But I mean, they're going to special plead and say that doesn't mean he's divine, even though scholars say it.
Yeah.
Wow. So IP makes a big blunder and he says that, it says that Yahweh comes with the... No, it doesn't. Show me one verse where it says Yahweh comes with the clouds. Yahweh rides the clouds. And if you've ever read Daniel 7, this is how I know you don't know your Bible. Daniel 7 shows the 4 monsters coming from the bottom of the sea because they're pagan empires. But the 5th kingdom of God comes from up above, from the clouds. So you have the imagery from the bottom of the sea and from the top with the clouds. It has nothing to do with Yahweh. Yahweh rides the clouds. He doesn't come with the clouds. Thank you very much. You baked yourself.
I've just quoted scholars, mind you, the actual experts.
I also quoted scholars, but you threw them.
Okay. All right. The interaction back and forth is discontinued. All right. So this question for IP here. Thank you for the support. And this question is... for IP, for an empire to be a literal continuation, we expect institutional continuity, same ruling tradition, political identity, same legal framework.
Can you start over? You kind of slurred slurred there a little bit. I didn't hear what you said.
All right, sorry about that. It says, for an empire, this question is for IP, for an empire to be a literal continuation, we expect institutional continuity, same ruling tradition, political identity, same legal framework, and same religion. Do Ottomans check all of this?
Yeah, Libiano, that's all he does is coke.
No, but also neither do the Byzantines, for example. They did not have continuity with the ancient Romans. They evolved to be different. They were Greeks, Thracians, for example, rolling different language. And then when you have the breakup in 1204, again, Constantine Lascaris doesn't take the traditional titles or the traditional procedures to become Roman emperor when he's reigning over Nicaea, because they were acknowledging at the time that the Roman Empire is broken up. So you have a break there. So if that's the case, that's when the Roman Empire ends. If you're going to say that they can continue to be the Roman Empire by just claiming it, okay, then the Ottomans claim that. The Holy Roman Emperors claim that. And again, if you're just going to allow for the empire to break up and still continue to be that empire by just saying it's Daniel's perspective, well, then guess what? Then Islam never got the Western Roman Empire, aka the Holy Roman Empire. They failed in 1683 at the gates of Vienna.
All right. Can I speak now? Yes, all I got to say, guys, ladies and gents, just remember that IP today said that the Roman Empire still exists, and that the Roman Empire is the Ottoman Empire, guys. The Ottoman Empire is the Roman Empire. It is the Russian Empire. I'm the Roman Empire myself. We're all the Roman Empire, guys. We're all the Roman Empire. What? That's all.
And just to respond, he's given no metric to actually know when the Roman Empire ended. And again, I did not say the Roman Empire still exists. I said it ended in 1204. But if you're going to use the weird metrics you were throwing out to try to get out of this debacle you put yourself in, you're the one who is saying accidentally the Roman Empire outlasted 1453. So you don't actually know the history, and everyone could see that.
Yep.
Right. And we have about 5 minutes left in this Q&A here. And so we're going to try to get some more questions here.
I hope this is the end, man. Because I came in, I didn't even start from the
beginning. This question's for Libiano.
I actually was playing Arc Raiders when the opening statements came.
All right. So this question says, would you accept a man applying a prophecy of the Quran to someone while that someone contradicts the same message of the Quran? that others have tried, like Rashid Khalifa, is the standard Quranic theology?
Excellent. No, because I have justifiable independent reason to think so. I have historical reason to think the Quran is preserved. And I have historical reason to think why my tradition is preserved.
Smash that like button, please. Smash that like button. We got 123 watching and only 90 likes. So smash that like button, please.
Establish this, then it becomes a metaphysical impossibility in this world to be, for there to be another prophet after the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Yeah, exactly. If you're going to start with the assumption of Islam and the Islamic texts, you're going to assume the theology of those texts. And so you would reject later prophets. Same thing applies to the Bible. And we often argue, I have a 15-part series on the reliability of the Gospels. I have videos on the reliability of the Old Testament. We can show these are reliable documents.
Tell me if that's better with the
volume. Corrupted as Muslims like to claim. So if we're going to start with our scripture, we have to conclude Islam is false because they would predict a prophet in line with what our scriptures teach, not what Islam teaches. So it's the same principle that applied. I'm really glad Libiano said that because that's the point I'm trying to make about his whole argument.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah, all those videos you made, they suck. You've been doing this for 15 years and you still don't get it. So the reason why that doesn't work is because there is enough historical reason to justify that the earliest view of those traditions are not what the post-Easter church wants them to be.
Pretty ironic.
And that's what I could demonstrate. So because I could demonstrate that, then therefore, there is a symmetry breaker. Thank you, Mikey Jones. You failed, man. Nice.
Let me see if I can get some more questions here.
Rhetoric. Nothing of substance, just rhetoric. Arrogant,
trying to keep
clown,
it even kill, you know what I mean? I'm trying to get it to where one question for Liv and another question for Mike.
Oof.
But it is.
Come on, man.
The problem is a lot of these questions are just.
Well, then just read the ones, man. You don't need to. Don't drag it out, bro. Don't drag it out.
Crazy stuff about you guys.
Come on, guys. Smash that like button. Smash that like. Yes, 103. Let's go.
These super
Let's go, guys. 142 watching, 103 likes. Let's smash that like button, please. Tap that screen. Smash that like. Tap that screen. Smash that like.
One here. Trying to find one for you, Mike.
And more than that, guys, subscribe to the Gospel Truth on YouTube, please. Subscribe to the Gospel Truth.
It's like statements, man. I have a question for Libiano. Let me see if I can get this one in, I guess. It's a lot of questions for Lib. I'm just trying to even it out a little bit here. All right, so this question says, show from your Quran and Allah that Daniel is a prophet of Allah. No, it's the same God, so don't appeal to Daniel and the Jews.
Sorry, the question is, show that Daniel is a prophet of Allah?
Yeah, it says, Liliano, show from your Quran and Allah that Daniel is a prophet from Allah. No way, it's the same God, so don't appeal to Daniel and the Jews.
Okay, beautiful. Well, we have a tradition that's actually attested by non-Christian Syriac chronicles that as the Muslims were doing their conquest,
Marcos, no, he did not.
They found
not even
the
close.
Body of Daniel. And upon finding the body of Daniel was preserved, and it had a manuscript with him, and it had Daniel too, and it was translated, and it was verified to be a prophecy about Islam. Now, you may think, well, is this attested anywhere else? Yes, it's attested in the Khuzestan Chronicle. It's a Christian chronicle in 650 AD that mentions that Abu Musa al-Ash'ari, the companion of the Prophet, found the body of Daniel and basically corroborating the historical event. Also, another way that I could verify this is because I have reasonable grounds to think Daniel's a prophet, therefore Daniel is a prophet.
Wow.
All right, Mike.
This guy just pretty much talks.
Yeah, again, we're going back to the book of Daniel, which contradicts Islamic theology in multiple ways. If you go to Daniel 9, for example, it talks about the temple being destroyed after the 490 years,
thank you.
A lot of Muslims say is somehow from the Bar Kokhba rebellion to the time of Islam, which doesn't line up. And again, despite what they say, no one in the Old Testament comes with the clouds of heavens other than divine figures. So Yahweh, for example. So this is why scholars note the Son of Man is a divine figure in 7. That contradicts Islam. They're going to a book that contradicts their own theology to try to argue for it. Doesn't make a lot of sense. Unfortunately, we didn't have time to get into Constantine, the little horn, because I wanted to go over all that mess that they try to use. But yeah, it is what it is.
All right. You have 30 seconds?
Oh, I have 30 seconds? Oh, okay. So, what's it called? What was the question again? I kind of zoned out, man.
No, what a shock.
What was the question again? Oh, yeah, Daniel's body. Right, Daniel's body.
So when you're that heavy,
so he says
when you're that heavy, you get tired fast. You know what I'm saying? Your heart's always pumping fast.
That's an assumption. You're begging the question. No, Daniel 7 is not a proof text for the Son of Man being Yahweh, because I just told you that coming on the clouds is not the same as the imagery of Yahweh, the theophanies of Yahweh coming on the clouds or riding on the clouds. In the text, the coming on the clouds is being contrasted by the monsters, the animals coming from the bottom of the sea. Has nothing to do with Yahweh. So no, Daniel doesn't contradict. Also, Daniel 9, you said from the Bar Kokhba revolt. Sorry, I never said that. I don't know you're coming up with that. And I would have loved to talk about the little horn. And no, I wasn't going to say it's Constantine. I think it's ambiguous. So I don't know why you thought I would say that. But Daniel 9 is a failed Christian prophecy. I'd love to talk about that any time of the day.
This guy just makes up things as he goes along.
We're going to conclude the Q&A. Our time did expire there. So thank you guys for that. Sorry, everyone. I would not be able to get to every single super chat that came in. And about 90% of them were just insults and little craspy statements. So I do thank everyone for supporting the channel, because it definitely goes to a good source, a good ministry. And so I thank you guys for supporting the channel. And I thank you too as well for coming on and debating this heavily anticipated topic. And so before I let you guys go, I do want to give you guys a chance to sort of rehash, let everybody know again, should I say, where you guys are, where they can find you, man, your YouTube channel, blogs, whatever it is, man. Go ahead and let them know, and then say your goodbyes. All right, Mike, you got it, man.
Yeah. I really enjoyed this debate. I appreciate it. You can find me on Inspiring Philosophy on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, you name it, just the same handle. And thanks for the opportunity. I had a lot of fun.
All right.
Orthodox Muslim.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you for being a fair moderator. I think it went pretty well. I had a lot of fun. You could find me on YouTube, The Orthodox Muslim, on TikTok, The Orthodox Muslim, on Instagram, Orthodox Muslim, and stay tuned for the clips coming from this debate today. I do appreciate it, Marlon. It was nice, man. And yeah, you're a great host. I enjoyed it.
All right, cool, guys. All right, thank you once again for coming on, and maybe we could do this again sometime. Definitely appreciate your time, and you guys go ahead and enjoy the rest of your evening, all right?
Thank you very much.
All right, guys. So out of all fairness, I'm going to make sure that you guys know this was the Gospel Truth hosting. Please subscribe. I'm not even subscribed to him. What do you mean sign? Oh, okay. I am subscribed. It's just that I'm on a different web browser so that you guys could hear it on YouTube and TikTok. Please subscribe to the Gospel Truth, hosted by Marlon Wilson. Debates, interviews, commentaries. He's a great guy. Obviously, he hosts debates quite regularly, right? So go ahead and follow him, please, guys, no matter what. Thank you all so much for your support, man. I really appreciate it. This was a very fun watch party. Even the Muslims who were in here trying to make the insinuation that Libiano was cooking. Yeah, Libiano got cooked, but that's exactly what we expected. Inspiring Philosophy is way too much for him. And it just goes to show that no matter how much rhetoric you try to insert into a debate, it only makes you look pathetic, and constantly trying to gaslight yourself because it works on your usual YouTube and TikTok audience doesn't mean it's going to work when you're speaking to somebody who is smarter than you, which in the case of Orthodox Muslim, that's most people. So as always, guys, yeah, Yusufi, if Libiano cooked my boy, then explain why Libiano didn't even know that Rome was in Italy. when having a conversation about the Ottoman Empire and supposedly taking over and defeating the Roman Empire. And he said, well, did they take over Italy? And Libiano said, what does that have to do with it? Because Rome is in Italy, you idiot. So I don't know what you're talking about. But then again, you actually think that Muhammad is a prophet. So we know that reality looks very different to you guys. As always, be safe, guys. Be good. Be blessed. I will see you guys when I see you. Remember that Jesus is king and the only way to heaven. Have a good one, guys.